All right, welcome in, everybody. The BETSTAMP pod is live on a Tuesday night. We've got the NBA going in the background. It's crazy how things work sometimes. I was literally thinking earlier today, I was like, has there been, and obviously there has been, I guess, again, it's just us recalling it for the year, but I was thinking, has there been, like, what is the craziest poster dunk of the year? And the Sports Center, NBA, all that, ESPN, all different shows. Wemby, of course, AO, as the season winds down here, as the MVP race heats up, the WemVP. Hey, yo, I mean, maybe if ESPN hasn't titled the segment yet, there you go. But, the other day against the Heat, he had that play where he blocks he makes the save. He makes the save and then passes it into the corner. And then Fox, of course, drives baseline and then has the lob to Wemby. And maybe he even did have a block before that, on the defensive end. But it's like this crazy sequence that they kept replaying it over and over and over again. I mean, obviously, the Wemby narratives, make no mistake, it's going to be quick where Wemby hits Mahomes territory where, obviously, we're giving our guy a lot of credit there early. But in terms of the highlight, usage for the outlets, obviously, and then combine that with the success. Like, if Wemby does, see some title success here for the Spurs, like, people are going to get it, but maybe not, who knows? Obviously, hopefully not. But I guess, we're just saying that, he's on TV quite a bit. So they're just going to be showing his highlights a lot anyways. Like we're saying, he's a captivating player. But it's like, man, of course, this play is like a little bit of a defining play. It's like him, being everywhere on the court at one time and, showcasing the entire skill set that he is able to display as a player. But as we watch the games here tonight, speaking of those crazy poster dunks, we've got Magic versus Cavs on in the background, and we just got one. Thomas Bryant just posterized Desmond Bane, and it's going to be a top 10 play of the year, I would guess. It is what it is. It's a pretty aggressive poster. I do like to not necessarily, take points away. Like, it's still a 10 out of 10 dunk, but there is a little, maybe like a 9.99 where when you do have the center dunking on the guard. Like, not to get too hot takey right away, but DeAndre Jordan, when he dunked on Brandon Knight, like, it is, it's an insane dunk. And that one might actually, go the other way, where the craziness of that dunk is, like, accurately proportionate to the, the size of the athletes there. But it's like, Brandon Knight obviously stands no chance, just gets absolutely, completely, obviously DeAndre Jordan dunks on him pretty good there. It is what it is. But it's like, okay, obviously that maybe should happen a little bit. Like, again, just getting absolutely thrown into the stanchion and you foul him and just don't even distract him one bit and making the dunk. Like, maybe, again, the degree to which that, that's not supposed to happen. Like, maybe you do stop him a little bit if you foul him. But it's like, okay, Brandon Knight is probably not going to stop DeAndre Jordan anyways. So I'm trying to remember that year there was another poster dunk that I feel like, if we were going back, this was back when we were locked in on the NBA top 10 videos. And I feel like that year, the number 2 dunk, maybe we were like, hot take, we wanted it to be the number 1 dunk of the year. I don't know. It is what it is. But regardless, I just remember being like, well, there is a poster that, I guess maybe like Blake over Pau Gasol or something like that. There are better. Or like, LeBron over Jason Terry is a little like that as well, too. I mean, LeBron, I guess we have to go back and now another excuse to go back and watch early Cavs LeBron highlights. But I feel like he's had more posters later in his career. I mean, he's had more career later in his, post the early Cavs. Obviously, Cavs years total, whatever. But, post the early Cavs, obviously, he's had more career. But I feel like even I would say post-Heat. I would say even maybe post-Heat, he's had a lot of his posters. I feel like, again, that second Cavs run, and then this Lakers run, like, you would say that he's more athletic on the overall explosiveness, crazy, like the height, the peak height of the vertical, of course, was definitely probably at its highest in Miami, or I guess maybe that specifically would have been maybe a little higher in early Cleveland. I don't know, but again, combining the second puberty he went through in the NBA, I don't know. Obviously, when he bulked up and then and then when obviously, like we're saying, combining that with the peak athleticism there in Miami, but with the strength that he had in LA. and then he would just, of course, bully guys to the rim. And again, he's not necessarily jumping as high, but it's still pretty high. And I feel like even his posters dunks, again, they're not necessarily like his highest jumps. They're like his strongest dunks as well. So, and he does have, again, crazy high flying posters, but like the Jason Terry one might be like the #1 dunk of his career. And again, it's just like, and that one, Jason Terry doesn't quite have the Brandon Knight reaction as well too. And that one, it is also like any play, the momentum of the play, and that play happened at the apex moment of like a really good sequence as well too. And then right off the inbound where you have them scoring and just the whole rivalry of it all. So, added importance of it there. Oh, Chet, hey, yo, we've got there, I guess on halftime we've got also Knicks versus Pelicans on in the background. They're showing highlights of a Hawks versus Grizzlies game, but they got Nickeil Alexander-Walker on a poster dunk as well too. Oh, and Sven Good. So see, we just need to lock back in on the highlights. That's what I was saying. I guess we weren't questioning that there had to be some. It's the NBA. It's like, where are the posters at this year? And I guess that's where our feeds just are. That's our own fault, chat. Our own fault is our feed is just all Wemby this year. I've just now realized. I mean, we already realized, but now we really realized. It's like, how many non-Wembanyama basketball highlights have you seen just like in the feed highlight sense like that, where it would be the posters and the crazy crossovers and stuff. Maybe the crossovers a little bit lower. It did seem like maybe like guys falling down ankle breakers did used to be a little bit more common. But hey, De'Aaron Fox got Kawhi a couple of weeks ago as well too. The last time they matched up, got him stumbling backwards a little bit. So I guess just us watching. We're locked in, chat. We're locked in. We're competing. We're competing as fans right now. It is what it is. But like we said, we also hope Wemby, I guess, gets, if he can't win MVP, maybe he can get #1 play of the year. But I think one of those, so it would be his player status is really what it would be that would get him that play. I guess did he dunk on somebody on that play specifically? I know that he has dunked on people as well. I guess, did Zion dunk on him early this year? Or was that last year as well too? I don't remember. I know Zion had kind of a sneaky dunk on him when they played. But here, we'll see if I can pull up that Heat play and just scan it real quick to double check what happens. We got to break it down, chat. Go through the X's and O's here on the Rem and Sam, little Rem and Sam pod film room on the Wemby greatness. I mean, we could break down the Wemby press conference answer he just gave. I mean, people are going to be talking about this Jay-Z interview. We're going to be talking about the Wemby press conference where somebody just asked him, okay, so yeah, he blocks. Oh, I guess this is a segment of all the different highlights. Let me see if I can find the one where we're talking about where he has the crazy sequence. And he had 26 points in 26 minutes as well, too. And I guess probably going to stop and go pull up the answer they had in the press conference, because it was a very intelligent answer, of course. I mean, again, we're biased, but obviously Wemby is an intelligent guy as well, too. Obviously, everybody in the NBA is an intelligent guy, but we're just saying that in this case, Wemby, showcased an intelligent answer, and he was asked 3 reasons why he should win the MVP. I love the school homework nature of the question, and it is fun as well. Like, again, it seems like a basic question, but guys just never get asked a question like that. I don't know if guys need to start being asked, start asking them math questions. Like, if Jokic went to the store with 4, if Jokic bought 4 horses and traded them for whatever, and then, traded them with Dennis Schroeder, and now Dennis Schroeder has 17 apples, like, what happens, like how many oranges are left? It's like, I don't know what kind of homework questions we need to be asking these NBA players, but it's like, 3 reasons why Wemby should win. What's the thesis statement for Wemby winning the MVP this year? And the first thing he said was, defense is 50% of the game. I mean, hot take from Wemby, and that it's being overlooked in the MVP contest, but he didn't even explicitly say that he is the best. If he didn't, he could have answered the first reason as, I am the best defensive player in the league, but his answer was, again, defense as an aspect of the game. And I think, Wemby's, again, as a generational talent, and the way that he is completely made, the way that his defensive impact is as crazy as it is, it has obviously at least in his case, obviously, there's an attention to his defense there, AO. But regardless, like we're saying, he could have, the case could have been, I'm the most impactful defender in the league, but it's like, just the side of the basketball, that side of the basketball maybe needs to be more valued in an MVP conversation like that. And, if we're talking about valuing defense, I mean, again, we would obviously have to start with Wemby. So again, he doesn't have to necessarily make the case for himself. It's like making the case for the factor that would make the case for him, if that makes sense. And I guess we had to remember what his other two answers were as well. I mean, again, Wemby teacher's pet, like he's getting an A if he's in our class. It is what it is. But hey, and of course we probably didn't save it. We did save this list of nicknames that was given to our guy Robbie Avila, also known as Shane Gilgeous Alexander, Marshmallow Anthony, Shaquille Oatmeal, chat. Shout out to Shaquille Oatmeal. That might be the one, honestly. That might be the one, and especially now since they weren't able to get past Michigan. Shout out. It is what it is, but. It's no shame there. But I guess we didn't save it, chat. I thought we saved it. Let me see. Did I save it into a collection? Is it not showing? Are we just bad at finding our saves reels? That's probably what it is. But his second one was that they I guess directly implying, as I said, that they were better against OKC. But that was, of course, the kind of the slight to Shea there. So we'll see if OKC remembers that in the playoffs. I mean, I guess we can't be scared too much if, again, Wemby is our lead guy. But, yeah, the record versus OKC. And then he said offense on offense, scoring isn't the only factor that impacts the game. And, I mean, Wemby is not as good if we're just talking about getting a shot. I mean, again, Wemby's mismatch ability, is just going to give him an advantage across the league. And that's, you can't take that, again, away from him as well, too, in that Durant factor. Like people with Shaq, like Dwight Howard. It's just like, this guy's, he's a bigger player is the only reason he gets points. That's obviously not true, but it is an advantage that you have to look at. But guess what? Other guys have other advantages. What? De'Aaron Fox is, again, he's super fast. So, John Wall, super fast. So, it's again, some guys... Just John Wall, John Morant. Speaking of guys that have dunked on Wemby, and I know technically it's the best thing that happened was the ref blew the play dead, and that play doesn't actually count. So it's this great. It's not even a what if play because again, it literally we have film of Ja actually throwing down a dunk on Wemby, but it's a what if because it doesn't actually count. It's not a registered field goal. It is what it is. So, I guess we'll have to make sure that, like we were saying a couple live streams ago, we'll have to make sure that video gets marked as, or maybe we do make sure that video gets. Marked as AI in the future. We were talking about, making sure highlights get marked as real so people know what wasn't generated. Be like, okay, Wemby actually did this, Ja actually did this. But maybe that won't be like, no, that was AI. Ja didn't actually dunk on Wemby. And see, there's no registered field goal attempt. But before what we talk about with Ja, who knows? Ayo, shout out Ja. It is what it is. But yeah, Ayo. We were, I guess, talk about the MVP race there. For his third reason and the scoring for Shea. So yeah, it was Shea is a better bucket getter than Wemby right now. That's probably true. He probably has a better variety of moves than Wemby does at this given moment. But I mean, you see even obviously this year, just the positive growth that Wemby's game has taken offensively. And we were talking about that buzzer beater he had recently as well too, where he kind of sets the guy up off the dribble in a very Durant-esque way to get a shot. And if he can get shots like that was one of the first, it was, I think, his first field goal in under 10, go ahead or game-winning field goal in under 10 seconds or something like that. But kind of one of his, first, clutch, I guess not first clutch, I guess, at that degree of clutch, at the last minute, but literally the last second, but the setting the guy up off the dribble that way. Again, it could have been, throw it to Wemby. He's going to try to be tall and get the shot, the hook shot over him. And it's not a bad thing. You got to we're out here, we're trying to win a basketball game. If you can, and speaking of advantages, Shea gets all the fouls. So, again, some guys have different advantages. So, again, maybe Wemby tries some guys in that moment. Maybe they try to draw a foul. Who knows? But actually like skill, saying that there's like a level of skill is again just a oversimplification of it, but a level of offensive, I guess, craftsmanship, maybe a level of offensive craftsmanship that he was showing from a scoring standpoint. So again, we're not, obviously he's right in that scoring is not the only part of the offense. And yes, of course, like we're saying, if you were saying for just scoring, you probably would have to give it Shea. But like we're saying, the scoring part is close, obviously. It is close. And I guess for this year, it is what it is. But yes, the rest of the game is obviously there. And I guess, we haven't checked games played recently as well, too, for our guy Wemby. As, the 65 game limit has made the MVP race kind of interesting on who is eligible this year. 57 games. So, yeah, he needs to, I guess, 48 games start, but yeah, 57 games played. Does it have, is it 65 games and or a minutes thing? Maybe it needs to be a 65 and or a minutes. I know that if we go back to the ESPN page, that we will see, I saw a little headline that said something about the NBA Players Union or something here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. NBA Players Union calls for 65 game rule change. And Mike, citing Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham was the last straw, I guess. Not Wemby, Chet. I guess, like we said, he is. If Cade Cunningham's going to win the MVP, they're like, this cannot happen. This cannot happen. Sham Surrounding and Danny Green weigh on Cade Cunningham being expected to miss. Oh, Chat. A collapsed lung. I guess we need to turn notifications back on. It is what it is. I guess shout out to our guy Cade. Hopefully he is doing okay there, and hopefully that is, obviously for his own personal health, something that is able to get under control there. But, if you're able to talk about basketball as well too, like the playoffs, being this close and the timings of, again, there's no good timing for injury. But Cade has appeared in 61 games this season. He's expected to be and again, we could talk about MVP. But yeah, I say, as it says here, quoting the article quoting the agent. Cade's agent. Cade delivered a first-team All-NBA season. I mean, the agent, shout out. I mean, he's not wrong in terms of the team winning a lot, but maybe Cade's second team instead of first team, because Luka has been kind of reclaiming that first-team spot a little bit here down the stretch. It is what it is. I think Luka would have been maybe second team if the season had kind of played out the way it was there in the middle of the season. But at this point, with the way that the hierarchy of the league is kind of already established, and Luka again showing that obviously his offensive brilliance still there, and now turning into a little bit of a win streak for the Lakers as well too. Like he might be back in the mix there. Their seeding's going to be pretty good if it holds out. But I mean, yeah, LeBron. 21 year streak of making All NBA will end. I mean, again, that might be actually the best thing for for him is the fact that he can cite the rule change in that factor. It would be close. It would be close. We definitely, I mean, we got to be honest, Chad. I mean, I'm not saying I would be like, let's give LeBron the honorary first team all NBA spot. Like we can have a little, dignity when it comes to voting for these things, but third team All NBA, we can throw away a third team All NBA spot for LeBron. Why not? Why not? Who cares? It's LeBron James. We were, they had the honorary, I guess they didn't even burn an all-star spot. They added an all-star spot for Dirk and Kobe back in the day. And, that's a little bit different in terms of logistically how you can pull that off. Pause. But, I'm not saying add an all, there's six guys. LeBron's the sixth man on third team All NBA. I mean, even that, again, who cares? Who literally cares? They're all made up awards. LeBron has been the, arguably the greatest player in NBA history. I mean, again, do you want to, I guess, respecting the legacy and respecting the, what are we saying, the performances of the season, we can definitely separate those two things. But again, he's still good. It's not like he was, with, I guess, more like with where, again, Kobe could put up stats, but like, again, LeBron could still be like a real winning guy. I think it would be more Kobe's style of play, rest in peace Kobe, but just his style of play as he kind of always had to be the lead scorer. Like if Kobe, if he had been a sixth man there for a couple of years, or, just a third option, not being responsible for as much, like kind of like LeBron is now, it would have been interesting. Again, I guess he doesn't even have to do more playmaking. Maybe it's just more spot up shooting, more cutting off the ball. Again, his post up as well too. you dump it to pause to Kobe late in the shot clock, and he's getting little post up fadeaways. I mean, James Harden's still running an offense these days. Like, yeah, again, obviously Kobe dropped 60 in his last game, so he was still balling. But Dirk was in a little bit of a different spot back in the day. It is what it is. Shout out to Dirk, but the league had to make it a little bit more of an honor. Again, for LeBron, like he is a impactful guy still. There is a bit of a statistical case. The league is pretty good though, so obviously, again, you want to respect all the performances. And our guy Steph Castle, what if it's going to be LeBron versus Steph Castle for that last spot? Again, now what do we do? I don't know. We're in a tough call, but maybe I don't know if Steph Castle is going to be third team. Maybe again, that honorary fourth team All NBA that we've talked about, Steph Castle and LeBron. But yeah, I did, and we've said this before, but I did when they originally announced the 65 game rule, I thought the 65 game rule was like a rule of thumb more so, and it was the league would make exceptions for certain injuries. So again, you start getting into the case of like, well, what is even, are you even enforcing any rules if you're giving them a limit, but then all of a sudden now just saying that you're willing to make exceptions for, because the point is for like, with all due respect to the role guys, the point is to get the star players to play. And if you were implementing, of course, the awards rule, for the stars, but if you're making exceptions as well too, you're probably going to be making exceptions for the stars. So it's like you're not, the guys that you're trying to get to play, you're not at the end of the day really getting them to play. And you could say that is still the case today, but it is a little bit of injury as well too. Again, like obviously this Cade situation. I mean, Wemby's missed time that he can't avoid. Even Shea, again, was getting a little bit close there. I mean, we were getting to the point where obviously everybody in a traditional All-NBA range for the season would be kind of at risk. But it just seems like it doesn't seem that difficult. Of course you can get rid of it and just go back to the old ways. Hey, but I mean, just do what we're saying. Make some exceptions. Just go a case by case and just say at the end of the season, 65 games and, here's your list of other guys that are eligible. Hey, extended all-star eligibility to these guys, or All-NBA eligibility to these guys. And I think that, who cares? Like, literally, who cares? We're trying to, give him props to as many guys as possible and making sure to get it as accurate. And if you play 62 games, and maybe just lower it as well too. Do you go 60 games? I don't know if that sets you up for shortening the schedule down the road. Like, of course, it seems like expansion. I guess, did they vote on expansion today? Pause. Was that today? Hey, it is what it is. Let's see here. Of course, they announced Vegas and Seattle as everybody was predicting, as it made sense. But let's see here. NBA expansion vote could move Las Vegas closer to franchise. The Kraken owner purchased majority stake in Arena prior to NBA expansion vote. Hey, shout out the Kraken owner getting in there and getting the business deals rolling. It is what it is. Adam Silver's big plan about to backfire. Yeah, I mean, we could. When's the vote here? Let's see if we can get an actual date. We could definitely talk about whether or not, it is a good time for the league to expand. It did seem like it was there for a second, but, of course, the league product, in terms of the views, in terms of the momentum, hasn't necessarily maybe moved forward the same way that people thought it was projecting to, but the NBA is also moving forward with plans to bring a league to Europe, with final bids for prospective teams due on March 31st. Final bids for prospective teams. Hey, okay, so March 31st, I guess, is probably that meeting then. I didn't see a date earlier up here. We'll hold a Board of Governors meeting next week. And yeah, it's saying here that the franchise, of course, will be added, later in the decade, 28, 29 as well. But yeah, obviously we'll keep an eye there and see how it goes. But yeah, again, like we're saying, easy fix. Just say that some guys are exempt. It is what it is. It's all, these guys have been exempt for the rules for so long. Just go back to being that way. I guess here we'll go games played on some of these superstars and see where we're at here. Because again, this season could be a little bit of a little bit of an outlier in terms of, again, guys getting to that specific number. Like, there could be seasons where guys do deal with, quote unquote equal amounts of injury, but regardless, they do, still manage to climb to that number. But let's see, Luka 60, Shea 60, Edwards 58, and maybe the 65 game number is working a little bit because these guys feel the need to play down the stretch of the season. This would be the time of the stretch, and the seeding is going to be needing to work out here. Needing to get worked out here. So, the guys are going to be needing to play for that reason as well, too. You've got Mitchell at 62. Jokic at 56 is going to be, a bummer. I guess, what do we got? The league, the Spurs, I think last game is the 12th of April. So here, let me see how many games they do have left. I guess Jokic could probably get there. 9 games left again. I don't know exactly if he is he missing time right now as well too. We'll just have to do an injury update on everybody since just to get a clarification heading down the stretch of the year here. But let's see for the Spurs specifically what they're looking at here. Yeah, 3 games left in March. So 10 games left for the Spurs. So yeah, Jokic is going to be right on the line there. Kawhi, I guess. Kawhi, honestly, being at 56 is a win. So if Kawhi gets to 60, I mean, the league should just be like, yes, Kawhi at 60 is great. I mean, that's mission accomplished. I mean, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, looks like he's, of course, going to cruise to that mark there. Brunson, I guess, is at 66 right now. So shout out. Hey, way to go, Jay Brunson. Kevin Durant at 68. I know that the Rockets maybe, haven't been like the 1 seed in the Western Conference, but they're still competitive. And, hey, Durant's 26 a game over here. 50-40 guy. So, I mean, strong case for All-NBA. Like we said, Murray is 67. So, I mean, shout out. He might get on All-NBA this year and the All-Star, getting the achievements finally after some of the regular season stuff has gone, not unnoticed, but, just hasn't been able to collect the awards there. Michael Porter Jr. at 52 games played. So, yeah, he might not be able to make All-NBA if he is not going to get there. James Harden, what do we got him at 61? Is James Harden going to be on 3rd-team All-NBA? Hey, Cavs looking kind of, okay since he was brought in there as well. Siakam, 57 games played. Keontae George, 54. 24 a game. Our guy Norm Powell. Wait, where's Bam at? Hey, Bam 63. Is Bam going to be on All-NBA? He might. How far is this 83-point game going to take him? I don't know. Cooper Flagg at 60? Cooper Flagg's going to play 60. So Cooper Flagg could be eligible for Rookie of the Year because, of course, him and Knuppel, it seemed like Knuppel could win that if the Mavs maybe had to shut down Cooper Flagg as well. So I guess the possibility of that is still maybe, if they have 10 games, is he going to play every other game that they have left? But he could definitely still get to 20 a game at 47%, 28% from 3. I mean, Knuppel is literally like the same and just better numbers almost. It is with 19 points a game, but 43%, 87. And Charlotte is a better team, but also, a better team this year. So I feel like it might be his award to win anyways. But yeah, Flagg's having a good year. And the number 1 overall pick, the generational prospect, he might just get the award in general there. So, hey, I mean, again, the Cade thing is definitely, again, it's unfortunate regardless of whether or not the league has a 65-game rule. Like, it's just obviously a terrible situation. But, again, I feel like that's an easy, can the league just not do that anyways? Can the league not step in and go, well, I guess what? Cade at 61 games played, 4 games short. I guess he can get in for the All-NBA discussion. Like, it's fine. 60, I mean, if the league just, like, unofficially, it's like the speed limit, chat. Hey, and I know every city, I guess, in America is different. Every part of the country is different, in terms of, like, how strict the speed limit is going to be enforced. I mean, I guess some places don't even, I guess, you go over some places across the world, obviously don't have a speed limit, but obviously in America, there gotta be places without, we gotta track these places down, chat. Hey, no speed limit in USA. I feel like I've heard people talk about Montana, but maybe just high speed limits. I'm not sure. Highest speed limits. Texas has 85 limit on a toll road, while several western states, Idaho, Montana. Chat, hey, yo. I feel like we're officially entering, like, we're going to pause. We're turning into adults, chat. It is what it is over here. I almost hit somebody at the restaurant. Well, almost hit somebody. Hey, yo, we almost delivered one of the craziest dad level jokes at the restaurant today because, you know, obviously shout out, best place in town, you know, it gets a little busy. So, you know, you have to walk people sometimes to the back of the restaurant, get that last table. And for some reason, maybe we should have thought of this sooner, but as we were walking as I was walking this couple back to the table, and when we got there, I almost said, you know, oh, gotta burn a couple calories before you eat the meal. And then I did the right thing and did not say anything. I just put the menus down, sat them there, everybody enjoy your time. Hopefully everybody's great. But I almost committed. It seemed like the type of people that would enjoy a little joke. Like, you know, some people just enjoy the interaction. They don't even need it to be quality joke. They just want, like, oh, you know, we're having fun here. We're here for a good time. So, you know, I feel like it would have gone, I wouldn't have gone over well, Chad. It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke. We did the right thing. It would have been the second right thing would have been to take it to the grave. But I guess that's not, IT is going to have to cut it out and save us there. It is what it is. But now we're looking up speed limits on toll roads in Nevada, chat, Texas. Hey, yo. Lowest maximum speed limit. I don't even know what that means. Lowest maximum speed. Oh, I guess like the maximum speed limit across the state. So the maximum speed limit in the state of Rhode Island is 65 miles an hour. Hey, yo. Nobody's going 70 miles an hour in Rhode Island. Is that because the state's so small they want to keep you there, chat? Hey, yo, we got him. See, we got it. I guess how are we going to work that into a conversation at the restaurant? I don't know. But now I have to decide. Is it a good? Let us know. Slide in the DMs at the Rim and Sam Pod. Next time I gotta take. Yeah, I can say next time I gotta take somebody to the back table. Hey, yo, next time we gotta take somebody to the back table. Do we say? Gotta burn a couple calories before you eat the meal. Hey, yo, it's just a little like, I get it. You know, I get it. We're walking here, but it's fine. You know, it's fine. It's sometimes as well. I guess because. And, you know, maybe we project a little bit when we're spacing people out, but it's like, do we just take the close table, get people sat, get people going? Or is there like a nice spacing to everything where you're not, you know, not everybody's on a table right next to each other, you know, you give everybody a little elbow room. So it's like, you know, you can have this table next to these couple people right here, or we could take a couple steps back this way and go to the table over here. You burn a couple calories and go over here. Hey, yo, it is what it is. So, you know, I feel like that's the sign that we need to quit. That's the sign that we need to quit and go get a new job. When we start thinking about jokes like that, it's like, oh no, we've been here too long. It is what it is. Burn a couple calories before you eat this meal. Chat, that's a disaster. That's a disaster. It is what it is. Rural intersections have higher speed limits, generally 70 to 80 miles an hour. Hey, yo, shout out. So, I guess America does have speed limits everywhere. Do we need one? Do we need one highway that has no speed limit? Only 2 places on Earth have a road with no speed limit. I guess true. If you don't have a road, then you probably don't have a speed limit. I guess speed limit is just, you know, Mother Nature. The terrain is the speed limit. But like, so the salt flats. I mean, I guess the salt flats don't got a speed limit, right? It is the sound barrier. The speed limit of your car is the limit there. Whatever Dominique Toretto, however many horsepower he can fit into an engine, is the speed limit on the salt flats. But which roads have no speed limits? Currently, there are 2 countries that have main roads with no speed limits. Okay, let's see here. The Autobahn, of course, classic, shout out, cool stuff. And then the mountain course Isle of Man in the British Isle. What do we got? The Isle of Man, located on the Irish Sea between Great Britain and Ireland. This self-governing island has no national speed limit. Hey, yo, they can't even agree on a speed limit, which is, just a little satire there, which means there's no upper speed limit on unrestricted roads. Residential roads have a default speed limit of 30 miles an hour, and the government is lowering it to 20. Hey, yo. I guess they're really debating the issues over there. Thrill seekers can get their kicks driving on the 37-mile mountain course, also referred to as a public road that hosts world-class two-wheeler and sidecar motorcycle races. Hey, yo, shout out. I was going to say the world-class 37-mile-an-hour mountain course. I guess if it is like a twisty, curvy road, that would have to be insanely curvy if the speed limit was like, if you had to top out at 37. But regardless, I guess it could be still pretty thrilling. No, it says all roads in the U.S., including highways, rural roads, and residential streets, have speed limits. All rural roads? Hey, yo, Chad, how do we build a road? We got to ask ChatGPT how to build a road because we got to build the first road with no speed limit. Nobody's got, I guess, what's a road and what's a driveway at some point. You start wandering around out there in the middle of the Midwest. But, hey, yo, it begs the question, what's the road and what's a driveway? If we build a really long driveway that connects a couple of houses that are really far, is that with no speed limit? Does that count? What's the law there, chat? I mean, I don't know if we can get too far in the weeds. We've got a Versuz matchup to go through. We've got Inside Man to break down. Hey, yo, we've got the Inside Man 20th anniversary to rewatch. So, hey, yo, I guess how far down this speed limit track do we get? But I mean, I feel like there's got to be one place where you can express your freedom as a speed enthusiast. Hey, yo, you just got to be able to, take your little Nissan Versa out there and just open throttle as much as you can. Pause. How do you build a road? Let's see if we can get a little info here. Taking a little pivot from a lot of the sports questions that, usually we present. Planning and surveying, clearing and excavating. I mean, I feel like pretty straightforward. We don't even need to read the details. Excavating, we can do that, right? You just, dig up trees, rocks, easy stuff. Subgrade preparation. Okay, we might need some details for that. The subgrade is the native soil underneath the road. It's compacted, pressed down, make it strong. Weak soil might be replaced or reinforced, adding the base layers. Paving the surface, drainage system, finishing touches, pause, maintenance, ongoing maintenance. Oh, chat. Of course, this is going to be a small DIY road driveway, a full highway. Hey, yo. A road is basically a layer cake. Hey, yo. Shout out Daniel Craig, layer cake. Soil, gravel, crushed stone, and asphalt. Like, what if we just like packed in a bunch of dirt? Hey, yo. I feel like we could make that work. That's basically gravel, right? So we're chilling. We stop at gravel. What's a road and what's a how long? Ayo, pause. Can we make a driveway? If we can make like a 20-mile long driveway, stay tuned for the REMINGTOM road project. This is gonna be quite the undertaking here. For the IT is going to be really out there doing physical labor for the first time. Local rules, biggest factor, 300 feet. Chat, you can't get any acceleration in 300 feet. Practical construction limits. Technically, a driveway could be a few feet or a few thousand feet, a quarter of a mile, a half a mile. Okay, that's not bad. We got a little drag strip situation going on, some quick races. Cost go up fast. You may need better drainage. You may need a thicker base for durability. Thicker base for durability. I mean, who doesn't need a thicker base for durability, chat? I mean, that just goes without saying. But cost reality check. Gravel's the cheapest. Asphalt made. Concrete most expensive. Okay. Emergency access rules. So like a 5-mile driveway, a 20-mile driveway. We'll have to look up the local restrictions and see what state will let us build this driveway, chat. Hey, yo, a 20-mile. I guess we're going to have to end up getting a lot of land is really what it is. Because if we, if we have 20 miles worth of land, then I guess, is the government going to let us get 20 miles worth of land? That might be, we're just going to have to buy Rhode Island, chat. It's really what it is. We're going to have to buy Rhode Island and change the speed limit. I think is essentially the task. Chat, hey, yo, we hate to propose such a thing in times like this, but I don't know if Rhode Island is for sale, but how much is Rhode Island? How much is like Rhode Island? like comparing it to Rhode Island is 47 miles long. Oh, no, not in driveway. In cost. How much would it cost to buy Rhode Island? I guess again that would be the government giving up quite a bit of land there. So really you would have to make quite a bit of a proposition. 65 billion a year in GDP they're just handing over. And that's again that's assuming we're keeping the infrastructure and not just clearing it all for this massive driveway project that we're investing in. Average land 22.5 an acre. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't seem, if you average it out across the state, and considering again Eastern Seaboard, it is close to New York. Like that doesn't seem too bad, honestly. That doesn't seem too bad. Roughly a million acres. Hey yo. So they were doing some pretty strict surveying back in the day. They had Rhode Island sectioned out pretty perfectly, I guess, way back then. 22.5, 20. I guess. I feel like we did learn about the history. Did we potentially learn about Rhode Island in school? Hey, yo. If we have to ask, I'm sure they went over it. But, hey, I guess it didn't stick. Pause. But 22 to 25 billion, that's just raw land. Pause. It doesn't include cities, houses. Oh, Chad, I didn't even think about that as well, too. That is true. You have to buy the land, plus you have to buy the infrastructure on the land. 500 billion for Rhode Island? Hey, yo, Chad. I mean, shout out. I feel like, Wakanda's got it. If we can get our hand on some vibranium, we might be able to make a trade. 500 bill? How much vibranium is 500 bill? I don't know. Raw land, 20. I guess if we can just buy the land and then they can keep the buildings, maybe we can work a deal. And then we just buy the buildings that we're going to clear out for our driveway. Or again, we own the land, so we can just change the speed limit on the land. I guess we'd have to work a deal with the business owners. We don't want people going, 200 miles an hour in front of all the storefronts. We do, again, want it to be safe. It's just safe for speed enthusiasts to go 200 miles an hour. I'm not sure. But, yeah, I guess it does seem like Rhode Island is a pretty profitable little state. So, we might have to do some saving. It is what it is. 500 bill? I feel like I was to say at 25 bill, I was say they just scrapped the Meta project for 80 bill. Like Facebook could go in and just put their office in Rhode Island. Hey, yo. 1 million acres, Facebook, just the headquarters, the Facebook compound just is Rhode Island now. It is what it is. But at 500 bill, I guess maybe it would be out of reach. Maybe it would be out of reach. And if there's ever a time to Facebook to just buy a state, I mean, it would be now. It would be now. If there's ever a time for them to pull that off legislatively. Hey, yo, Chad. Hey, yo, are we still live? We might be getting into sketchy territory. I don't know. But what are we saying? Either way, back to buying a state. Back to we just talk about the 65-game rule. Hopefully, Cade Cunningham makes third team All-NBA. Hey, yo, is really what it is. Do we even have time for NBA Versus, chat? Do we even have time for NBA Versus? We're just excited to get to the movie that we have for tonight. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think this might be the first Denzel. Hey, yo, I was gonna say, why is Coach Carter on? I thought we had an NBA game on. I think it's an ad for a streaming service. The Divergent series and Coach Carter. Oh, the Roku channel. It's like, hey, yo, what's gonna get us an audience? The two main projects we have, Coach Carter and in the Divergent series, but they also have Escape from New York and Belly. So I mean, again, it just depends. It's just the algorithm. Whatever you're into, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's about time. I mean, you make no mistake. At some point, I'm assuming that looking back, it'll be like, oh wait, you did all the Denzel movies? Yeah, because they're all great. It is what it is. But obviously, in terms of movie for movie, Chad, Inside Man is one of those movies. But NBA Versus is gonna be fun as well too, in honor of course, the Versus that is this week, Tyrese versus Tank, which is very, very exciting, making us want to go, I guess, speaking of movies, go scoop up that Too Fast, Too Furious that we've been seeing at the DVD store lately. I don't know. It's been it's not that we don't want to get Too Fast, Too Furious. It's just, can we get it before we get the first one, I guess. And it's just not not again chronologically, but just because we love both movies equally. It is what it is. And one, obviously Paul Walker is in both of them, rest in peace. You don't get Vin Diesel in the second one. So that is the little bit of a factor. It's like, if we had to just have one Fast and Furious movie, do we have to have one with Vin Diesel? Do we have to have one? Because you do have them, of course, with Tyrese and Vin Diesel. Hey, that's the greatness of the franchise. What movie do you get both Vin Diesel and Tyrese Gibson starring as in a movie? It is what it is. Does that need to be like the new De Niro and Pesci? Obviously, shout out the duo, obviously, again, was Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. And Paul Walker and Gibson as well, too. Vin Diesel is the familiar... I guess, Paul... and it is what... We all know it as well, too. Because, again, the franchise... Even though the 8th one's pretty good, the franchise is the first 7 movies. It is what it is. But, I guess Paul Walker is the family. Paul Walker is the family. And if you think about how they do function as a group as well, too. I guess Paul Walker's character does need to be a little responsible for bringing them together, because make no mistake, when he infiltrates them, that's what tears them apart in the first one, I guess. But again, also, does it tear him apart? I guess it does. It's just Vince, right? They just lose Vince. Rest in peace. And Ja Rule how was Ja? We gotta go back and see Ja Rule. If he would have stayed, he might have been just for the first one. It is what it is. But, and I guess not to say that Ja Rule and Ludacris couldn't have been in the same group, but obviously Ludacris and Tyrese have a great chemistry as well too. Pause. So, and again, could Ja Rule and Tyrese have had the banter that Ludacris and Tyrese had in that franchise? I don't know. It's a different franchise, obviously. It's a different franchise. But what are we saying? Tyrese. Yeah. Hey, we just need to get the movie. We just need to get the movie. But also, we passed on Creed as well too again. So maybe we need to get Creed before we get the Fast and Furious franchise. I don't know though. Fast and Furious, they are older, so we have to save those movies first. Get those DVDs first. I don't know. But yeah, like we're saying, we're ready for the Versuz. We've been listening to Tank and Tyrese at the gym the last couple of days, getting ready to go. Those are like a hey yo. And speaking of the DVD store, the last time I was there, scooping up Cradle to the Grave, sitting over there. I guess maybe it's covered up right now. Did we officially make that announcement? I guess I don't know if we announced. We had a new DVD into the collection. Cradle to the Grave. We got it. Check that one off the list. Shout out, rest in peace, DMX. But like we were saying, we were looking through the selection. I guess, we were going in with the list. So when we saw that Cradle to the Grave was there, on the list, we're like, perfect. It is what it is. Well, this will be the one. So, and I guess we didn't really have anything else on the list conflicting. But Creed is on the list now. We've seen it too many times. Not that it wasn't on the list before, but our list originally was going to be, a little like 20-year plus movies or something, 15 plus. I guess Creed is, 10-ish plus at this point. So again, it's getting close. But, and I guess that would include The Dark Knight. I was thinking having the cutoff be like right before The Dark Knight dropped. Not to say that we didn't need to get The Dark Knight, but it seems like a little too new still compared to like the Fast and Furious, even though they are only like 8 years apart. Obviously, those movies are closer apart than it is like now in the Batman, The Dark Knight. But I guess point being, we were there and we randomly had an alarm set, I guess, for the time that we were in the store, just so happened to be at that time. And it went off and we were, of course, listening to something in the earbuds. And when the alarm went off, the earbuds disconnect, of course, and then the Spotify keeps playing over the alarm. So now the Spotify's playing at full blast in the DVD store, and the pod's going, and these guys are yelling on the pod, and it's like, oh, wait a second, nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see here. Let me just turn that down and act like nothing happened. Sorry about that. So, hey, yo. I don't know if we need to, I guess, I don't know what that had to do with getting Cradle to the Grave or Too Fast, Too Furious, but we need to. Oh, because I guess we were listening to when we say that would be a Tank. Listening to Tank and having that happen would be crazy. That would be crazy. I think Tyrese is. I guess I just want to say traditional R&B, like not traditional R&B. I guess I would say Tank is just like, shout out. Obviously, Tank is great, but Tank is for the earbuds and for. I don't know how many people are allowed to listen to Tank at one time. I guess as many as you want, but hey yo, it is what it is. Music is very wet, Chad. It is what it is. Whoa, It is what it is. There's the only way you can describe it. That's the only way you can describe it. Dripping. It's like anytime you listen to Tank, it sounds like a fragrance commercial where he's just like getting out of the ocean. It is what it is. Getting out of the water. That's every Tank song. But Tyrese has got Tyrese got some fun songs in there, and even some of the, lately, obviously, again, like if you're listening to lately in the DVD store and the alarm goes off and all of a sudden it's just Tyrese, have I told you? It's like, that's fine, honestly. That's fine. That's honestly just a good recommend. You're just like, actually, you people should be listening to Tyrese. Let me actually now get the Too Fast and Too Furious because I'm proud that I'm proud that we're listening to Tyrese. Proud Tyrese Gibson fans over here. It is what it is. But if you're listening to Tank and he's like, when we, and it's like, whoa, hey, what, just in the DVD store, this guy is in a mood. It is what it is. But we didn't schedule the verses. So obviously if Tank's gonna be in the verses, Tank's gonna be in the earbuds at the gym. It is what it is. Tank's gonna be real motivating, chat. Hey yo, it is. I don't even know what kind of mood that is. It was a strange workout. I'm not gonna lie. Tyrese is the first album is that's workout music, chat. That's workout music. That is, again, I guess you can pull ups to lately is fine, but yeah, I guess again shout out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But we want to do an NBA style versus in honor of the versus that is happening. So I guess maybe at the front we got March Madness on Friday. It's a loaded time, chat. It's a loaded time in the schedule, chat. But I mean, even the movie anniversaries, we kind of had to make a little bit of a call between Inside Man and another movie. And if we say the other movie, you're gonna be like, how is that even a call? It's just more of a not as because everybody loves Inside Man, and the other movie is Batman versus Superman. It is what it is. The other movie anniversary at this week is Batman versus Superman. One is, of course, 2006. One is 2016. So there is just the, give respect to the legend before Inside Man, the time spent. It's been in our lives longer. Again, pay homage to it first. But just to make the statement that Batman versus Superman is aging like a fine wine. Like a fine wine. It gets better every time. Hey yo, it is what it is. Just to make the statement, it's like, do we go there? Because again, it's like Inside Man. What are we talking about? Just another beloved movie? Just another great piece of cinema? Like let's dive into this Batman vs Superman pause and make the case there. But we might legitimately have to do a special we might have to do a special episode Batman vs Superman live stream. I guess maybe the Sunday live stream. I didn't think about that. It could be the Sunday legend. Path to the Draft. What about our Path to the Draft series, chat? Hey yo, we're gonna bench Path to the Draft series for Batman vs Superman. Done. It is what it is. Batman vs Superman. I guess literally the only thing that could potentially bench Batman vs Superman, and it is Batman as well too. But it's Denzel. It's Denzel. Our favorite movie characters of all time, Denzel Washington and Batman. That might be true. That legitimately might be true. It might be Denzel, especially now, because I would say a lot of our other favorite, if you start naming favorite actors, it's going to be people that just aren't acting in movies anymore or acting the same way. We're going to say Al Pacino's like our top 5 favorite actor of all time. Hey, yo, good luck, the next Al Pacino. You have to wait for the AI to get really good. But I did see, looking through some movies, that he does have like a part in something. It was, stud cast, big director. I was like, oh, obviously Pacino's going to show up for 5 minutes of work there, and maybe he is doing a real role. Who's to say? But it was a little bit of a scroll down the cast list before I got to him, so maybe they were hiding him there as well too. But again, like him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I get like little smaller parts now these days. But like Gene Hackman, obviously, rest in peace. Eddie Murphy's not in movies. It's not like the 2.5 Eddie, 1.5 2 Eddie Murphy movies every year to look forward to. I mean, the fact that he had that run where just even having him around doing Coming to America and the 4th Beverly Hills Cop movie was just a lot of fun. Again, having him, like, you just see, of course, the star power that he has. Just to get I mean, Beverly Hills Cop 4, we'll defend it as a fine movie. I'm not saying that you're going to watch it and rewatch it all the time, but if you are a fan of the Beverly Hills Cop franchise and you just want to, if you're binging the Beverly Hills Cop movies, I would say binge the 4th one. I would say you could sub the 4th one in for the 3rd one. and go 1, 2, and 4, and now you have a trilogy of Beverly Hills Cop movies. Again, is the fourth one a great movie? Hey, yo, what can we say, chat? What can we say? Is it a fine watch? Is it a fine watch? If you have it on in the background, you're not committed to paying too much attention. Maybe. But, again, obviously, and even, I guess, and Denzel is still acting very prominently. Is he always, again, carrying the movie as the lead Bill guy in the same type of way? And that's probably just for him, the parts that he's pursuing. Like, he still does, to his credit, pursue pretty big roles as well, too. Like, you think of him in, of course, like, recently, like Gladiator 2. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the next Black Panther movie as well. Black Panther 3, him and Spike Lee working together is just going to be a big movie in general. But it's like him and Spike and Apple and Highest to Lowest. There was definitely A$AP Rocky. Like, there's definitely some push behind that movie as well, too. And again, like, Denzel's just a big star. But, again, he still is taking big swings as an actor. But I would say outside of Denzel, like, our favorite, and that is, of course, I guess now we're literally in some ways as well too also uncovering not the problem of Hollywood, I guess problem however you want to, it's the problem, I guess, of however you want Hollywood to look like if it's not in your version of the ideal Hollywood. I guess we're not necessarily, we like old school movie star Hollywood for sure, but the modern Hollywood is IP is the star, and I would just now subconsciously admitting it to myself would agree with that. That's what it is. Again, I'm gonna be there for any Denzel Washington. I mean, there are guys like shout out. I guess who are the guys, Chad? We'll think about it. Margot Robbie, I guess shout out. But there are some actors. There are some actors out there that'll get us in the theater still for. I guess maybe creators. Does it go IP one? Well, I guess we can't rank IP over creators, but for the morality, for just the integrity of it, but in terms of what's really happening, I think it is IP number one. But maybe creators are number one. I don't know. But creators, of course, are number two over movie stars at this point. It is what it is. You have to say that the guys that, and maybe it has always been that way, but Nolan, Coogler, PTA, Greta Gerwig, like those have been, again, in the awards races the last couple years, those have been the face of the movies themselves. Like, yes, Chalamet and MBJ and Leo and Jesse Buckley and Mikey Madsen and the winners from the last couple years, like they have been major stars. Like Mikey Madsen for Anora, she was definitely the lead for Anora for sure. I guess I don't even remember the director for Anora. Was that Sean Baker wrote that, maybe, if that's the name? I'm not sure. I just remember, we should know because obviously that was the best picture winner. So going to that we're in the Wikipedia chat. It is what it is. The modern day library. We'll spend time there, and we go to that Wikipedia page enough. We should know what it was. I guess it's PTA now, but I think it was Sean Baker before. But again, like Coogler, with all chat, has Coogler passed Denzel in 2025? Oh, chat, I can't even. We have to go to break. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing whatsoever. Again, it's the LeBron 40. He's 41. Is it fair to I was watching ESPN today, and there was on Get Up, and they had a segment that was like, is LeBron the third option in his team? Can LeBron lead it? It's like, the man's 41. Like, who cares if he's a third option? The fact that he's 41 and a third option on his team is like the other way around. Like, that's incredible. That's incredible. He's 41. He's in the league playing it all. It's crazy. The guys before that, throw out names, not to be disrespectful, but it's like Udonis Haslem, Hey, shouldn't say it like that. Obviously, Udonis Haslem earned every year that he was in the league. I don't say that sarcastically whatsoever. Like, he deserved every single year, every single minute that man was on an NBA bench. Absolutely. But I'm just saying that the way that he was on a roster is different than the way that LeBron was on a roster. Like, Denzel is still, as good as LeBron is in the NBA, if not better. But I guess just however you want to make the argument, you could make it either way at this point. Maybe LeBron's a little. I don't know. If it's Denzel and the Equalizer, then Denzel's better. Right? Either way, like we're saying, if we're talking 2025 though, or 2026, if we're talking 2026, 2027, if I had to go see one movie, and I guess like we're saying, Black Panther 3 will be perfect. I think Coogler, is he producing or is he? Well, he has to be directing that, right? Because it was Creed that he didn't do 2 and 3, But he did, of course, do Wakanda Forever. So I'm assuming that, you know, he'll be carrying on the legacy of that franchise. Let's see, we got Black Panther 3. The video explains how Denzel's involvement could be in. Okay, so we know one thing, that Denzel's in the movie. But I think that's because he accidentally said that as well, too. Shout out to Denzel. It is what it is. I guess, here, do we have like an IMDb for this? Can we see if Coogler is... Oh, yeah, here we go. Coogler, writer-director Coogler, stars Denzel Washington. Shout out. So is he going to be... Do we have a name? And he is literally the only member of the... I guess, shout out again, Marvel's ability to keep everything under wraps. But maybe they don't have... I guess, you know, we don't even know what Marvel is going to look like as well, too. If we start giving the cast away for this movie, then... You know, hey, spoilers for Secret Wars. We're like, why is Hugh Jackman in Black Panther 3? What's going on there? They've now just, you know, what other white guy are they going to exhale into Wakanda? Exhale? Hey, waiting to, is that the Bucky Barnes movie, Waiting to Exhale? Exile? I think the word might be exile. But Bucky Barnes, Waiting to Exile in Wakanda. Hey, yo, that's a different story. But let's see here. So, yeah, we do know, like I said, Denzel in Black Panther 3 with Ryan Coogler. But if it was an either-or, right now, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I don't know, because maybe the creator maybe has the ability to impact more of a movie. But as I say that, I look over behind the Inside Man DVD and see the Training Day DVD. And, of course, that might be single-handedly the greatest actor saved, not actors, you know, I have a shout out to everybody in the movie. Shout out to Fuqua, shout out to Ethan Hawke. You know, Ethan Hawke's part of the reason that movie saved. And Snoop Dogg. But that's one of the single greatest actor, just LeBron in the 2016 finals right there. And Ethan Hawke is kind of, that might be the comp. That might be the comp, because you do have the great secondary performance with Ethan, whoa, hey, yo. We might have to go to break. If we can't say Ethan Hawke's name correctly, then it is what it is. Okay, chat. It's time. Inside Man. And like I say, it's exciting because we get to pull it out of the DVD pile. Pause. Hey, yo. The first time a pullout's ever been. Oh, chat. Okay, that's it. We're going to break. All right, Chad, here we are 20 years later. Inside Man on the TVs, still looking good, still about to be as chef's kiss as it always is. And, as we pull up the movie here and get ready to get into the rewatch situation, I guess the little streaming update for you at the time that we're recording this. It is available on Prime, but like we said, dove into the DVD stash for this one. Have the $2 price tag still left on it, just to prove that there are still good things in this life. You can still go to the DVD store and find a gem like Inside Man for the economical price of $2. 86 on the tomato meter, 85 on the popcorn meter. So the critics and audience is locked in for this film, as you would expect. What does this say? Good watch, a little predictable. Hey, yo, what's the I guess it's not really that predictable. I guess there's always going to be some element of, like, I guess, that is the question. How do you make a movie unpredictable, right? But in terms of a crime drama, a heist movie, there is going to be the basic elements of the bad guy cop interaction, of course. And, when you think about a movie like Inside Man in the heist movie genre, and just heist movies in general, it feels like there are not just two specific types of heist movies, but it seems like, you're either like in the heat lane of a heist movie, or you're doing something else. And, for movies and genres in general, there are the movies that are like so popular and so transcendent that that like there are going to be elements from this that's like, oh, this movie is going to be impacting, movie making and pop culture and styles and stuff like that for the next generation, for who knows however long, for whatever. And then there are movies, I think, as well, that go the other way, that are, so unique, or kind of one of one, to have a spin on the genre that is, again, stands alone in its own way, and they're able to do it so successfully that they do just kind of, at least for, who knows however long, they do just kind of take that type of story, and it becomes like, it's an Inside Man movie. And, I guess we could maybe be even more locked into heist movies than we are, but there really isn't another Inside Man. And I mean, for the credit of Inside Man, pause. Like, how can you really recreate it as well too? Because it is kind of, it does have a lot of integral. If I'm using that word right, intricate. Is it intricate or integral? It's got a lot of, really specific little beats in it as well too. That, again, there is that basic. You could have a sort of hostage. Maybe the hostage situation in a bank is a little basic. So I guess like a little, a little Dog Day Afternoon-ish. In a way. What was that Taraji P. Henson movie that we watched recently, where she's like held up in the bank there for a while at the end of the movie? That sort of plot point, I guess, is again something that maybe has been, revisited time and time again in a heist or a crime type thriller. But of course, the dynamics of the negotiation and just the overall logistics of the heist. And I guess spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie yet by chance, as well too, as we unveil it. I'm sure we're about to mention the ending right now. It is what it is. But, I guess maybe to try to tread as lightly as possible, like, I do think that the ending is a little, unpredictable, twisty, turny as well too. I guess, do you say like plot twist per se? Because, and I guess not a spoiler alert to say that Jodie Foster is in this movie, but, the Jodie Foster storyline, there is that three-man weave that you get in this movie as well too, that again, speaking of making it unique, does make it unique in that way. But, that three-man weave, like we're saying, combined with the overall motives of the heist, and then, like we're saying, the logistics of how the heist and the hostage situation is manipulated in this movie, is really one of one. And then you bring in Spike Lee for the filmmaking. That's just like a storytelling standpoint. You bring in Spike Lee for the filmmaking, and then you have the cutting in between of the interviews and just the way that the film is laid out like that. It is a really unique one-of-one movie, and if somebody were to try it again, you really would just be remaking Inside Man. And Heat does, again, get a little bit like that as well too. Like the obvious call for what movies are like Heat, Den of Thieves is a movie that is, basically, do you say basically the same? But again, I think for some reason, there is something about Heat that, and again, it's not a disrespect, like the movies themselves in terms of what they are in the genre are like in some ways like equally as good. I guess here we'll do a little Rotten Tomatoes comparison. I could see Heat, again, it's got the critical acclaim. It's definitely, at least in the 80s, is it in the 90s potentially? It's definitely a all-timer, again, just action movie in general. 94 on the audience meter. Hey, yo. It is what it is. But yeah, 84 on the tomato meter, so the exact same sort of critical acclaim. And again, I would say all-time rankings, again, as much as Denzel's our favorite guy, but, again, you could rank the Pacino and De Niro performances, all the different stuff. Like, 86 for Inside. There we go. Inside Man's better. No debate. But, again, it's close enough. I'll hash it out. But for the impact on the movie industry, there is something about Heat that feels a little bit, that it does seem like you can take elements from it more, if you could say that respectfully. Like, there is something about that that's like, it's not that you don't not want to see Inside Man on the screen all the time. Like we're saying, this is one of the most rewatchable movies, but you don't need the constant Hollywood update of this story, or seeing, again, different actors, different versions of it, seeing, the big screen elements of it time and time again. It's so perfect in the way that it is, that, and like we're saying, it's so unique in the beats that it is, basically impossible to try to recreate a second version of the story without just being like, we're basically remaking it. It's just Inside Man all over again. It is what it is. But for Denzel movies in general, he does, Denzel's one of the great actors. He has the as versatile as anybody, several lanes of movies that he plays in. But you do have maybe the more serious movie types. And again, this movie has critical acclaim, so I'm not saying a movie that doesn't have critical acclaim. But a movie, again, like Malcolm X would be, and obviously the Spike Lee run that he had as well too there. But a movie like Malcolm X or Mo Better Blues or something like that, I feel like those movies would be in a little J. Roman Israel Esquire, like maybe in a little bit the character lane versus the action movie lane. If you went fun action movie Denzel, like this is, like we're saying, maybe as well crafted of a movie that Denzel has been in from that action movie standpoint. And, again, Training Day is, I think, a really, really great premise in terms of the corrupt cop setting up the rookie, and then the way that day plays out is, again, a really, really great idea. And the execution, the way that the actors are able to execute the movie is really, really great. But again, the overall, and for me, the filmmaking by Fuqua in that movie is great. So I would say that, again, for me, it's personally better and a favorite of mine. It'd be more favorite, I guess, if that is the correct way to say it, of mine as well too. But again, I would say that you could definitely make the case that it could be right there with it as well too. As I say, Crimson Tide is definitely in terms of, again, movie quality, about as good as any of those movies. The acting between him and Hackman is a great dynamic as well, and a little bit different, of course, between him and Hackman than him and Clive Owen, because there is not a lot of necessarily, or not as much direct on-screen time of those guys interacting. Of course, as you get the hostage situation playing out here, you get the phone calls and a lot of the indirect conversations between the guys. And it's a credit to both of those guys as well too, the charisma of their actors, that they are able to, effectively have those types of scenes in that type of way, where, again, comparing it to Heat, I guess, you have the De Niro Pacino scene of them together, and that is, again, they literally don't interact at all in that movie. The movie is great with them just circling each other in, a professional way, and not necessarily, again, them directly interacting the entire movie, face-to-face conversation, words to words per se. But regardless, again, you do have the gravity of that scene with those guys in the room together. And there are times when you get like equal gravity, like the initial phone call. Is it the initial phone call But when we get to it, we'll point it out. And I think when we say the phone call, you know what I'm talking about. And I think it's the, we try to piece all the different phone call conversations together. But the one where, he gets the Jamal and Jesus line. It is what it is. I don't know. Is that the most iconic? Is it the iconic Denzel line from this? Sipping on Mai Tais in Tijuana or whatever. I don't know. But I guess it's that's the Clive Owen part, but that might be the most iconic one-liner of the banter that they have. But again, that whole phone call is just the movie star charisma gravitas of those guys in that scene, and not even being in the room together is pretty crazy. But again, I guess him and Hackman and Crimson Tide obviously are a little bit more on screen together as well. And then Inside Man, just again, if we're talking about more of the strict action movie types, that would be, I guess, his second rated one here. Maybe Devil in a Blue Dress. I guess the tomato score, 92. Popcorn meter, 71. Still too low. And we definitely have to throw that one back on as well, too. It is what it is. Is that streaming? That's our homework, chat. We gotta throw in, maybe get the DVD, throw in the DVD player. But I guess throw on Devil in a Blue Dress. Let's see what we get. Listen to Devil in a New Dress. Listen to chat. Hey, is that a lyric? Listen to Devil in a New Dress, watching Devil in a Blue Dress, kissing Devil in I don't know, Chaz. Is there a sundress line there? We're writing. It is what it is. Oh, it's not streaming anywhere. Hard boiled detective who done it? Hey yo, I'm gonna rate it higher just based on the description. It is what it is. But we've gotten who's the director for that one? Carl. Oh, that's the Carl Franklin. Because it's Carl Franklin and Out of Time as well, too, right? And then, or am I thinking of a different movie? Yeah, Out of Time. And then Deja Vu. And maybe, again, if I'm talking personal watch time, like maybe Deja Vu is equal watch time with Inside Man. Again, we're just talking personal favorites at that point. It's just like, throwing that movie on. Yeah, maybe if we had those, quote unquote, if we did have the Deja Vu DVD, which make no mistake, on the list. And see, we did commit to the quality that time of Inside Man. We I guess if it's like, would we rather have Deja Vu in the rotation? I don't know. I think He Got Game goes into the action movie category versus like the serious character category. American Gangster kind of honestly could be either one as well too. It is that epic character movie that again is an action as well. But I think it would be safe to say action movie. Is John Q? Is Flight an action movie? I think Flight is definitely an action movie. The Equalizers, again, fun movies for sure, but I don't think they're in the best conversation. It's interesting. Maybe you ask a newer generation. Like there could be equally as many people. Like the Equalizer could be one of those movies that's weirdly like, if we ranked how many the amount of people that movie is their favorite movie. If that makes sense. So if we had a count, it's like, Remember the Titans, that's, 2 million people, that's their favorite movie. Is that a lot for Remember the Titans, their favorite movie, number one? Like, I don't want to say like 500K, have like Remember the Titans is their number one movie of all time. But it's like, okay, they'll like legitimately say, Remember the Titans is my favorite, 500K. Training Days that might be like 2-3 million people have like Training Day as their number one movie of all time. Like there could be 2 to 3 million as well that have Equalizer. I mean, we're just throwing out numbers. But just, again, to say, if we did have a head count for that, I think it would be close. Again, you have the franchise as well, too. But definitely not there for the overall quality compared. Yeah, audience score for Deja Vu. Get the critic score out of here, Chad. It doesn't matter. Save House, 2012. Book of Eli's another audience one, for sure. Another fan favorite recently. But I don't think it goes into the conversation for the best. Fallen, a sleeper as well too. Oh, Man on Fire's a 39 on the critic score. I say, man, honestly, chat, Man on Fire might be more. I say that might be more popular than Inside Man now that I think about it, and it does have an 89 on the audience score as well too. Let's see what we've got here if we just re-rank it by audience, and we got, I guess, shout out Journal for Jordan, MBJ as well too, 95. Equalizer 3 and 94. People love that movie, I guess. Gloria, 93. Remember the Titans? I guess maybe 2 million was maybe Remember the Titans is a sleeper for being higher up there as well too, for people's favorite movie. Malcolm X is definitely going to be up there as well. But yeah, Man on Fire has the same audience as Training Day. And then Inside Man was, what, 85 on the audience? Crimson Tide is 84. Highest to lowest, 84 as well, too. So I think that is the Denzel Mount Rushmore of action movies. But again, American Gangster is right there as well, too. That's close. And Remember the Titans. Hey, yo, chat, we can't really narrow it down to 4 again. But the movie, either way, Man on Fire is not as well crafted of a movie. With respect to Tony Scott, we love Tony Scott, and that might be another hot take if we had to. I guess we can't necessarily say we'd take Denzel and Tony Scott over Denzel and Spike Lee, but again, just depends on the day. It just depends on the day, and at the end of the day, you get Denzel acting, and that's really the point, right? Is Denzel's the best actor of all time, so it doesn't really matter. The director is important, but again, the Denzel performance is what we're there for. But either way, I think that, like we're saying, this is, a pretty fun movie. But yeah, Denzel is, amazing and everything. But Clive Owen as well, too, delivers a great villain performance. Jodie, again, everybody in this movie is really, really bringing it. I guess Ejiofor, it is, a pretty stacked cast as well too, and then you get just like Willem Dafoe is even in this movie, isn't he? Where he's just like given a couple lines, so there is gonna be like no weak person just in the movie, if that makes sense. Because a lot of the random people per se, with all due respect, like a lot of the people that maybe we don't know the names are of course gonna be the hostages, and they're not necessarily actually tasked with doing acting in this movie. Like again, they're just the crowd in this movie, if that makes sense. So everybody that does have responsibility, like, is actually, like, really a name, if you think about it and go through the list here. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. It would be, again, just because they wouldn't be on, with all due respect, the level of notoriety of the people that we were just talking about. But cast and crew here for film, we mentioned Defoe, Ejiofor. Oh yeah, I guess Christopher Plummer as well too, going unsaid. But yeah, then it gets into the people, and they do they do have the character interviews and stuff as well too. So I guess they are tasked with and they do a good job in that. We're not criticizing that. So I guess that's another reason why the film is strong, because those people do deliver. We misspoke, chat. Give credit to the randos. Hey yo, you got to give credit to the randos. But again, if you just got as your fourth and fifth man, I guess not even fourth and fifth man, you got Denzel as your best player, is like, again, it's having MJ, it's having LeBron, but you can also sometimes you have LeBron in the 2007 Cavs. Man on Fire can make the finals. It just doesn't mean it's always going to be a great movie. But Clive Owen as your number 2, Jodie Foster as your number 3, but maybe the legacy is actually the number 2, if that makes sense. I don't know what the team comp would be there for that. Where again, Clive Owen in this movie, do you say he's better than Jodie Foster? But he is equally as good as Jodie Foster. You could say he is better. I just, Jodie Foster's great as well too. They're equal performances. And I guess we could go runtime. Do we have Inside Man's screen time breakdown between the cast? See what we got here. But yeah, obviously the way that they're listed, I guess, again, misogynist Hollywood has Clive Owen listed over Jodie Foster. But either way, like we're saying, there's got to be a team where it's like that third player. It makes sense for that team for them being the third player, but they're really the second player, because Jodie Foster's had a better career than Clive Owen. With all due respect, just based on Silence of the Lambs alone, because I guess is this the best Clive Owen? Clive Owen is one of those guys that doesn't make our rotation a lot, and it doesn't. That's no disrespect to Clive Owen. There's so many actors out there. Ayo, how can we keep up? How can we keep up? But it goes for movie choice as well too. If he's taking different types of character parts, maybe not always the movie that we're going to be gravitating towards. But hasn't been in any Marvel movies. Gemini Man, hey yo, go back and throw on Gemini Man. The Informer, I guess his action movies just need to be a little higher rated. The Informer, hey yo. Is this Ethan Hawke? Who's this Ethan Hawke look like? Here's Ethan Hawke jacked up, looking 35 in this movie. Let's see what we've got. Oh, Kinnaman. Is Kinnaman Ethan Hawke look-alike, I guess, It is what it is. On a poster with his head tilted down, he could be. And we're just thinking about Training Day now. It is what it is. But yeah, some of these, again, just a little underrated. The Last Nights, him and Morgan Freeman, I guess, trying to do action there. Shout out. Words and Pictures, Blood Ties, Shadow Dancers, Hemingway and Gellhorn. Hey, yo, The Intruders. So, I guess, again, you can... Oh, he play Ernest Hemingway? Like, again, I guess I'm not... If he plays Ernest Hemingway to an Oscar-level style, like, that could be an Oscar part, for sure. You give Joaquin Phoenix Ernest Hemingway, like, what's he gonna do it? Because Ernest Hemingway was wasn't he like a... I guess, Hey, yo, we tread lightly. Shout out to the Hemingway estate. But wasn't he like I think the man liked the bottle. It is what it is. Pause. I feel like don't we all, chat? Hey, yo. But I mean, maybe just a little proportionately outsized compared to some other people. Okay, it's not. He doesn't have like a page on his Wikipedia listed as like drinking problem. But hey, yo, I think just any artist back in the day writing books, just ripping through beers and cigs. It is what it is. But what are we saying for Hemingway? Again, just specific for the roles that Clive Owen is going to take. Because, again, even the character parts that Denzel takes are just better roles. He's just, is part of being an actor. Is taking great movie, is just gravitating toward interesting scripts. I mean, you got to be offered stuff as well, too. I'm not every guy is going to be offered every part and just be like, well, I have my pick of everything. Like, let me just do this. But in the scheme of things, there is a way to operate. Again, not to call out guys, but I feel like sometimes, a guy, like our guy Chris Evans, it is what it is. We say it because we want this guy to be. We need him in more action movies. We need him in more action movies. A movie like The Gray Man, which forget him again about the critic scores. We'll mention it once a month here on the pod. He is a really great villain in that movie. What's that movie? He's got the movie where he's like, and again, I guess, I'm not trying to talk down on these plots or anything, and they can all be great stories, but I don't know. Again, maybe it is what it is. We're just we're a simple movie watcher, and if we're gonna watch a movie that maybe doesn't score as high on the Rotten Tomatoes, it's gonna be a easier type of watch than maybe a character movie that did such. But either way, shout out to Clive Owen. But this, I think, could definitely, I guess, we gotta go back. It is what it is. Could be his best movie, or his best / the fan, most important, however you want to phrase that. I guess, the rewatchable phrase, the Apex Mountain movie for him. But audience score, the highest. Oh, The Bourne Identity. I guess speaking of the action movies, that would be, is the Bourne Identity is like, I was about to compare it to Lil Wayne. I think Lil Wayne might be a better rapper than The Bourne Identity is a movie. I don't know though, but what's the Eminem? Bourne Identity's the Eminem? Like, we don't, I guess we just expose ourselves. We don't listen to Lil Wayne that much. We can't listen to everybody. We might sit here and lie and say that I don't like, I'm not saying that I don't like Lil Wayne songs. I'm just saying if you're asking me, what artist do I queue up? Again, you just, if it was like, if I'm under the truth serum, and I have no choice, and it's like, would you rather listen to Corday and Lil Wayne? It's like, it's not a would you rather, but it's just like, don't check the stats. I guess if you want me to be, in tune with the legacy list. But, shout out to Corday. But either way, The Bourne Identity is one of those movies where it's like a great action franchise, for some reason does not find its way on my TV. It is what it is. That's one TV in the nation. Actually, we got two here in the studio, but still only two TVs in the nation, but it is what it is. It's a movie that we don't want. And Gemini Man, we need to get that in rotation. Newer movie. So I guess 7 years now. Has it become a Tubi classic? I think it has. If it's on any free streaming service right now, we immediately induct it into Tubi classic status, and it becomes beloved. It is what it is. Let's see here what we got. Gemini Man with our guy Will Smith here. Gemini Man 2019. Oh, Chad, it's not streaming anywhere. There we go. That might actually be a Tubi classic then, if that is the case. Oh, Ang Lee directed this. Hey, yo, we might have to go back and give this one a second chance. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Hey, yo, shout out. But yeah, Clive Owen is so underrated, but 38 on the Metacritic. So again, compared to the same sort of overall critical acclaim, I guess again the audience score though 83%. So there is what do you say, a cult following for that movie in some ways. But yeah, I guess audience scores for Clive Owen movies again 80% or more. Ophelia, Closer, Gemini Man, Children of Men, Inside Man, Song of Names, and Born Identity. So, obviously, just being an Inside Man and Born Identity alone, like the man's got classics in his discography, make no mistake. But, again, like we're saying, just to highlight the film that we are talking about, this is definitely an important movie for his career in that way. And, like we're saying, is able to go toe to toe in some ways with these, to as good of toe to toe as you can go with Denzel. I mean, really, I think it is. Again, what do you say? But like, I think for as good as Clive, this is like as good as not say as good as Clive Owen can act in a movie. But like, if you're saying, a guy again going toe to toe with Denzel, like Gene Hackman. I mean, how are you gonna top that? Like Gene Hackman's just a better actor than almost anybody that's ever lived, as well too. So there is a part of that. And Gene Hackman at his point in his career then versus where Denzel in 95 versus, again, this is Denzel 10 years into the 10 years after that. He's won an Oscar, the nominations, he's been basically the alpha dog in Hollywood at that point as well too. And this is, alpha dog in Hollywood starting to, after, at least that Training Day moment as well too. Moment for him, for Denzel, but what do you say for Clive Owen? Again, I think that this is just personal opinion. It is what it is, but I think just Gene Hackman can be better in a movie than Clive Owen. So I think that he can be better going again acting in a scene than across from Denzel. But I think again Clive Owen maximizes his abilities in this game, is what we'll say. This movie. Jodie Foster does as well too, shout out. And then like we're saying, Willem Dafoe and Ejiofor, and then Plummer as well too, Arthur Case and Kim Director as Stevie, shout out. But not to cut her out of the lineup, but Denzel, Owen, Foster, Dafoe, I guess that's 5 right there. Ejiofor. So in all honesty, I guess Dafoe probably gets bumped out for Arthur. I don't know why they have Arthur Case listed below. Is Dafoe in this movie more than Christopher Plummer? I would say that Ejiofor gets to stay in the lineup over Dafoe because he is Denzel's right-hand man in this movie. So I think you can, no disrespect to Dafoe, but you can do the movie without Willem Dafoe's character. Again, that's not Willem Dafoe's fault. Take the paycheck, take the part, love the movie. Another, if we go non-Spider-Man for Dafoe, this is another one that is like, again, what movies are you constantly going, he's in Finding Nemo? Hey, yo, you learn something new every day. It is what it is. The Phoenician Scheme. Shout out. Of course, the new film. And I guess he's in this new werewolf movie. Is that Eggers or is that, who's the other horror guy that is going right now? Krieger or Eggers? I don't know exactly. We'll straighten out who is who one of these days. But for Dafoe, yeah, Spider-Man, Pet Shop Days, 96% audience. Togo, his number one movie, Disney Plus. I mean, family friendly. There's something there to that. Platoon. I mean, again, maybe a little bit of a different direction. And then I'm my brain is broken trying to remember him and Zack's. I literally cannot remember him in Snyder's Justice League at all. I cannot remember this movie one bit. But Dafoe is in this. Hey, yo. Dafoe is in Justice League and Marvel for some reason. That's startling to me. But either way, 92% is also that should be even more startling. I didn't realize the Snyder League cut was only Snyder League fans apparently were reviewing the film here. So shout out to Zack Snyder. But Mississippi Burning. Speaking of our guy Hackman, Budapest Hotel, Finding Nemo, Fault of Our Stars, Inside Man, Fantastic American Psycho. He does have a good non-action discography. Like, you do have to give him credit. Like Fault of Our Stars, again, that's a beloved movie for sure. I mean, Finding Nemo is great. Grand Budapest Hotel, Mississippi Burning, Boondock Saints, and Justice League. I mean, come on, that's stacked. I mean, Platoon, I guess we have to mention as well. Like, since I mean, the other Spider-Mans as well. Oh, that's right, he is in the first John Wick as the sniper guy. It's fun. So is Dufault sneaky a better side character than he is a main character? I don't know if sneaky is the right word there, but he is definitely one of those actors that you feel like you need to clear out a little bit for him, if that makes sense. But again, looking at the discography, like you see, he is good at roles when he is as the side guy. And maybe he's like, it's like, what is he doing in John Wick as well too? Like John Wick is such a, in the best way, such a simple movie that like Dufault doesn't really have to do a lot of acting, but it doesn't matter. He still is whatever it is. It's still able to be fine in that role. And obviously great movie as well too. But a little James Harden-ish in that way. And has Dufault ever actually won a Best Actor? Because again, our guy James Harden, we'll say our guy, we're pro James Harden here on the pod. As much as you hate the ISO style, and I'm not saying steal every bit of his game for the way that you play in the pickup, but I mean, come on, you can't deny that little setup that he has between the legs. Whoa, hey, yo, pause. But the between the legs dribble, then I mean, either way, what do you say, Chad? The way that he sets up his step back jumper is pretty sick. It is what it is. We tread lightly, but I mean, he's been nominated. Back to Willem Dafoe. Pause. He's nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Platoon, and Shadow of the Vampire, Florida Project, and At Eternity's Gate in 2018. Best Actor nomination. So 3 Best Supportings and a Best Actor. So I guess you probably would have said he is better at supporting because he's getting nominated as supporting all the time. But Florida Project, I guess I thought he would have a little bit more important in that, but I guess he is, you got what, like, I guess maybe like a kid and a mom or something. I guess we have to go back and revisit that one. But, yeah. So, again, Harden, for like the most part of his career, was the lead guy. But the point would be like, you would be like, oh, is he a guy that you want, is he going to pass the ball? Maybe Westbrook. I think Westbrook's probably had a better career than Willem Dafoe, though. If we're being honest, I don't know. Supporting actor once at the Golden Globes, and then Best Actor, twice at the Golden Globes, and then Best Actor once. Oh, and then Best Supporting again for Poor Things at the Golden Globes. I guess he didn't he didn't get nominated at the Oscars for Poor Things, but I guess he did get nominated for like we're saying, at the Golden Globes for the award. Best Villain in a Movie 2022, Critics' Choice, Spider-Man. Shout out. Best Acting in an Ensemble, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, 2004 American Adventure Comedy. Oh, it's that Wes Anderson run there. And I guess, being in that universe a little bit. Golden Raspberries, Worst Actor, Speed 2? Oh, chat. Hey, yo. Speed 2. I mean, this Inside Man is a movie that does have a great sequel as well, too. If we were talking about the great / non-great sequels for movies, Inside Man, Most Wanted, I think 2019, is a movie that does count and is definitely something that, again, speaking of old Hollywood, this is something that I would say I miss. For sure. 2019, so I guess not old Hollywood. This is still kind of new. But I guess even now, a mere 7 years later, direct-to-video, nobody would be doing that. Does anybody release direct-to-video in 2026? Let's see if we have options. Direct-to-DVD. I guess, do we go new? New direct-to-DVD movies 2026. I guess somebody is probably doing it on some scale, because, it's just like, what mediums do we have access to? We can do this on a large scale. Like, screw it, we'll do it. But, again, in terms of like an actual film like Inside Man, Most Wanted 2. What studio did this? Universal Entertainment. So see, Universal out here doing real work. It is what it is. We got key 22 direct to DVD and upcoming physical media releases driven by Gen Z led revival include titles like Anaconda, VHS Halloween, Sniper No Nation. Whoa. What is Sniper No Nation, chat? I guess we're locked in. We're locked in. Starring Chad Michael Collins returning. Oh, this is the second one as Brandon Beckett alongside Tom Berenger. Tom Berenger's. The film is confirmed for digital and DVD release April 7th, 2026, and found on platform. Oh, Vudu. Vudu is still around? Hey, yo, shout out. And they're doing DVD movie releases. Oh, chat, look at that. It's a sniper with no nation. There he is. There he is. This looks like a video game trailer. So, I don't know. War movies are not usually the action movies that we do get into. VHS Halloween might be interesting. Let's see what we got here, because this could be stylistically kind of fun. The eighth installment of the found horror footage anthology. So we need to get 1 through 7 first, I guess, at this point. According to Movie Cider and Diabolic DVD, Shudder. True, we haven't necessarily gotten into pause Shudder as well yet. Not being, crazy horror fans at this point. So action sequels, Anaconda. Okay, we might have to open an incognito tab for this one. Oh, Jack Black and Paul Rudd? This is going direct to DVD? Hey, yo, the Anaconda reboot. So this is just getting a DVD movie release. Pause. This is not a direct to DVD movie. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, Jack Black, what a quick fall. Hey, yo, I thought he was just the biggest star in Hollywood, and now all of a sudden he's doing direct to DVD movies. Here, directtodvdmovies.com. We should have known there was something out there. Oh, The Running Man? Shout out. And speaking of going to the DVD store, we did see Sinners in Walmart the other day. And we were like, do we just get that now and just cancel all the subscriptions? Just be like, well, I guess the movie collection is set. We have every movie that we need. But I was like, okay, we still, HBO is still pretty stacked. So for now, we'll stick with the HBO version. But we're close, chat. We're close. And, the economics of being able to go to the DVD store as well, too. Not saying that we have to wait for Sinners to get to the DVD store. I mean, imagine. I mean, that'd be crazy if somebody bought the DVD and then already handed it into the DVD store. They'd be like, it was some like crazy. I guess if somebody was like a crazy Oscar fan, they were like a crazy one battle after another fan. They were like, okay, what's going on with this movie? Do we have to see what the competition's about? And they were like, I knew it. And then they just, they sent it to the DVD store. And then imagine, I mean, it would be a miracle for us. It would be great. Be like, even still, it would have to be like $6 or $7. Oh man, what a steal! Half off. That's crazy, chat. Let's go. I'm manifesting it right now. I'm gonna go to the DVD store this weekend, hoping that somebody turned in their Sinners DVD, and maybe I'll just ask the guy at the counter. Is there any chance? Is there any chance that a movie that dropped a year ago that you have it in store already? I mean, maybe they got the Blu-ray. Did we check the Blu-ray? Is there a DVD? They got Blu-ray capability? I don't know. But either way, hey, back to Inside Man. Most Wanted 2, the sequel for Inside Man. Speaking of our DVD collection, again, we do have Carlito's Way with a Carlito's Way Rise to Power second DVD that was included in that sale. And I guess not the sale, but they were the DVDs were packaged together. And that movie, hey yo, don't know if it's aging the best, stars one Sean Combs. Hey, Sean Combs? Hey, Sean Combs. What movie are we even looking for here? Not Inside Man. Carlito's Way, Rise to Power. I think Leguizamo is back in that one as well too. Oh, Carlito's Way. Here we go. Rise to Power, 2005. So, around the time that Inside Man was, being dropped, what do you say? Oh, the previous film was based on the 19 novel After Hours, but they titled it differently to avoid confusion. Hey, yo, imagine people getting the P. Diddy, Mario Van Peebles, Jay Hernandez vehicle mixed up with the Martin Scorsese After Hours vehicle. I don't know if that is happening, but, After Hours not the most popular Scorsese film. So it could be, there's a chance that maybe the Carlito's Way, the first one. People definitely know the first Carlito's Way more than After Hours, I would say. I think that's probably an easy take. But, After Hours, definitely people probably know Carlito's Way. People probably know that more than Rise of Power. It is what it is. And we can't forget about our guy Luis Guzman in this movie as well, too. Literally, somehow, every music video and Carlito's Way Rise to Power. This man, Sean Combs, was in it. Pause. in the 2000s. I mean, literally. But what are we saying? Either way, Inside Man does fall in that list as well too. I don't know if we can find here best sequel direct to DVDs. Oh, best direct to DVD sequels. And we were talking about the Bloodsport. I mean, Bloodsport is a direct to DVD franchise, so that might not even count. True, like a lot of the Disney movies. A lot of the Disney movies do have sequels. This is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be like, I mean, we can watch any movie we want, but I remember as a kid watching the second Cinderella. I don't remember what it was about, but I honestly, it was, and maybe this was like the early, discovery of, what are we talking about? The early discovery of franchisization, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there that just, the Disney cartoons, those type of Disney cartoons are not that crazy. I mean, there probably are some Disney cartoons that you could do some discovery to. Hey, toss on The Incredibles 2 if you want. But, the Cinderella is probably not going to be in that lane. But, I just remember being like, what is Cinderella 2? Like, what is there more to this story? Like, what else is going on here? Like, and I don't even remember literally what that movie is. Like, I have no concept about what that story could possibly be about. Like, literally, I thought the first one ended with happily ever after. So once you end there, it's like, well, I guess, that's pretty all encompassing. Like, I don't really know. We're going to get into the nitty gritty and we're going to undo the happily ever after. Actually, the minutia of daily life is not like, what are we talking about? But, I just remember, and apparently here looking at this as well too, and apparently, a later drop 2007, but there's a Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, praised for its clever time travel plot. So I don't know if we need to get into the plot for Cinderella 2, but yeah, you get Bambi 2, 101 Dalmatians. So that might have been a newer one as well too. Maybe the Cinderella 2 wasn't an extremely goofy movie, of course. And that's actually that's a real sequel right there. That counts. A goofy movie, a real extremely goofy movie, like that's what counts. And I guess, should I clarify? I remember the Cinderella 2 being on. I guess should we again, we don't have to defend ourselves. It is what it is. We were but a lad. But I just remember being like, what is happening? So, a lot of the Disney ones, like we're saying, did get those random sequels, but it looks like that is going to be most of the list. So yeah, maybe we'll assemble the list on our own. Right now we've got Inside Man, Most Wanted, Carlito's Way, Rise to Power, and what was even the other one that we said here? Oh, Speed 2. Oh, Basic Instinct 2 could be another one. Not that we had that one queued up too quickly, but otherwise, a whole other list of random direct-to-DVD movies out there as well. But chat, we got to get back to the movie. Clive Owen proving a point with the hostage. Do you say execution with the one guy they're dragging away here? And obviously, again, for spoiler alerts, there is no actual death that happens. I guess in the movie, but in the course of the plot, none of the hostages are actually killed off in the proving of the point. It's just the what do you say, the aesthetics of it. They just make it look like it happened. Get a couple of shots, maybe throw a little ketchup on the wall somewhere, and hey, everybody get back in line. So, again, for Clive Owen's tactics in this, that's how he was choosing to operate. But we got, of course, Ejiofor in this movie, like we said as well too. Hey, shout out our guy Willem Dafoe. But definitely, I don't know if you say one of the underrated supporting guys of the 2000s, 2010s, but of course, him and Denzel between this and American Gangster is a pretty fun, again, what were we saying earlier? Who needed to be Pesci and De Niro earlier? I forget what our wish list was there, but, a little Pesci and De Niro-ish in some ways. Oh, and back with Clive Owen and Children of Men. I guess, I don't know if it's a movie we need to throw on, but, I guess we could. The Old Guard 2. Would The Old Guard 2 have been direct to DVD? I don't think so. I think that's a theatrical release for sure. For our guy Ejiofor, of course, his defining role in 12 Years a Slave, and then like we're saying, American Gangster as well. The newer Lion King as Scar, definitely a little bit of a underrated movie there. And then yeah, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is like weirdly important for Ejiofor's career at this point. Oh, our four brothers. How do we forget about Four Brothers? He's the bad guy in Four Brothers. That's right. Four Brothers is the Mount Rushmore movie for our guy. Shout out. But yeah, he is definitely again one of those guys that you're just like is around in the 2000s, putting in work and being able to be the sidekick guy for Denzel like that. Oh, Denzel and Clive Owen meeting face to face for the first time. The interaction, him walking up to the door in the bank. You get Spike Lee with the the camera right up on the guys' faces. The close angles there is again Spike Lee in his bag. But yeah, and then Christopher Plummer, the Arthur Case sort of villain character. And we mentioned the the 3-man weave earlier, but that part alone, I mean, you could honestly, the movie, and I think the movie does have that, what do you say, that legacy defining thing of the thing that people do remember is the cleverness of the plan and the executions with the again the execution of the plan, we should say, with the hostages and the way that Clive Owen pulls that whole thing off there. But that could be its own movie, and yet you do have again the ulterior motives that are being brought in, and the way that Jodie Foster's character has to help with those things, and they are able to intermingle all of those storylines in a way that does make sense. And the fact that you have that third thing in there, again, pause, does make it stand out, because it is a lot of, like we're saying, that two-person dynamic in those movies. And if we go back to a movie like Heat, I don't really, there's not really a third storyline. There are other storylines that, I guess maybe you say the Natalie Portman storyline does, of course, allow their characters in some way to, be on location at a similar spot together. But at the end of the day, again, it does seem like a lot of the storylines that happen in this movie, because even De Niro with the lady character as well too, like it does reinforce De Niro's willingness to be able to walk away from anything in 30 seconds if he needs to. And again, important for that type of character building, but not necessarily something that directly plays into the plot per se of him and Pacino's interactions. Again, like we're saying, tells a story about who De Niro is in that moment when faced with whether or not he'll, finally settle down with somebody that would make him happy in life, or is he gonna, slide further into this life of crime, that he's already in. Obviously he chooses the heat around the corner path and walks away for 30 seconds. But again, it's not necessarily something that is, I guess it is integral to the plot, but in a different type of way. More to, like we're saying, character development than it is to plot line. So yeah, it's, the Jodie Foster, Christopher Plummer aspect of the movie is actually plotline. To flip it around the other way, there really is no character development. And again, I guess we're bad film breakdown. Obviously all the stuff in the best films is intertwined. There's character development and plots going on all over the place. But, it's not really Jodie Foster's character revealing things about Denzel's character throughout the course of the movie. They do have some good character scenes, I guess, for sure. And Denzel, trying to get to the bottom of the case and, trying to uncover things. And they are definitely, again, trying to, just as people in the movie, trying to figure each other out, as she's the fixer and he is the detective. So they're just, again, as actors, able to play that dynamic very well. But it's not him, if I'm being, is it him making a choice regarding the Jodie Foster character, and then that says, oh yeah, that confirms the thing we knew about Denzel earlier in the movie. Again, it's like, Denzel still, even at the end of the movie, is trying to uncover the case, and the things that are being revealed to Jodie Foster. Hey yo, that's the combo of both of them. Jodie Foster and Christopher Plummer. Again, it's more like plot point stuff. Like we're saying, there is some, again, very interesting, like, do you say, like, philosophical scenes, but there is some very interesting conversation and dialogue at the end of the movie between them all about, political dynamics and things like that. As, maybe a little, like, what do you say, thesis statement-y type stuff there. But either way, just the ability for them to three-man weave those storylines in there is definitely pretty fun. I'm sure that even a movie like Set It Off, what do you have, the storyline of these, you have like the different family storylines kind of going on with the characters in that movie, where Jada Pickett's character is trying to get, her brother to college, and then you have tragedy happen there. You have the situation with Kimberly Elise's character and her kid in that movie. And it does, those situations, again, do bring them to having to heist. But it's not an extra thing that it's like, oh, and then here comes this force in this movie. I think we described it enough. It is what it is, but it's a great job. And, again, Spike Lee does an incredible job of directing this movie. But you do have to shout out Russell Gurewitz, the screenwriter. And the great career of Russell Gurewitz, obviously this one is a great one. And then Righteous Kill. Hey, yo. And these are his two movies. Inside Man and Righteous Kill. It really is one of the great filmographies of all time. I don't know. What's his average, chat? What's his Rotten Tomatoes score average? Is he got the Kobe Bryant... Is that Kwame Brown? Who was the guy that scored the Kobe had the 83-point game with him and that teammate. But, obviously Kobe with 82. I guess who's the guy that had 1 point on the Bam Adebayo 83 night? And then it's like, him and Bam scored 84. But for our guy Russell Gurewitz, for audience score, an average of 61. Oh, chat, Righteous Kill is really bringing that down. It is what it is. Pause. Critic score, Inside Man, and Righteous Kill, the average combined of both those 52. Hey, yo. So I guess if you just looked at the averages of his movies, would you say that he's, the Rotten Tomato darling? I don't know about that. But obviously with whatever he was able to accomplish here in Inside Man, he was throwing heat. And honestly, like Righteous Kill, I don't know if Righteous Kill is a poorly written movie. Actually, weirdly enough, I have seen this movie within the past probably 6 months. I don't know if that's even weirdly enough. We just said, a mere couple minutes ago that Pacino was one of our favorite actors. So, maybe it's no surprise. Speaking of second direct-to-DVD sequels, is this the direct-to-DVD sequel of Heat? Is Righteous Kill. But, again, maybe we're just watching every movie that Pacino's in. So, hey, Righteous Kill is going to be in that run of movies. But it was actually... And we did the live stream post the Michigan game we went to this past year, Michigan-Washington. Shout out to Billy Buckets, a little birthday weekend trip with the boys over to the Michigan football game, hanging out. And, just a little Michigan football game and Righteous Kill, chat. I mean, just a classic weekend, I guess, in college football season. But, we watched Righteous Kill that weekend. It is what it is. What's on Tubi? Oh, De Niro. We watched Righteous Kill and Den of Thieves. I mean, what a 1-2 combo. And maybe not always going to be like paying attention to every second of the movie when you're hanging out, but just because you're having great conversation, and especially when it's Righteous Kill, you have better conversation than in the movie. But I don't know if that movie is poorly written. And I think the movie's better than the 37%. That movie's at least, speaking of the 50s, that movie's at least a 50 on the tomato meter. That movie is at least got chat, speaking of alarms randomly going off, we need to get this under control. At least we didn't have Tank randomly playing. Obviously, we should have Tank playing. But I'm just saying, if that alarm went off in the DVD store and all of a sudden is when we might have gotten kicked out of the store. It is what it is. Or maybe, he does, he hits that kind of like that, where I feel like if you did play it, if somebody did hear you playing that song, it might not register initially. I mean, it would definitely register because it's just in his voice, chat. It's literally just in his voice. You just hear his voice and you're like, whoa. Am I allowed to be in the room? Like, what's happening here? But I feel like you might be able to get away with the understanding of it there, because it's kind of a when we So, hey, I guess we need to work on our tank impression. But apparently the critical audience out there not agreeing that Righteous Kill is like, okay, let's say this Emilio Basile, the only thing these Oscarized actors are looking for is a paycheck. I mean, obviously, De Niro and Pacino back together but firing blanks. Oh, chat. Hey, yo. You hate to see their old age criticized. The Thriller by John Avett is mostly by the numbers, and its surprise ending, though effective, feels somewhat forced. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess I don't even know what that means. But, again, a little plot twisty. Righteous Kill. You get a little bit of a plot twist at the end. And the scene at the end between De Niro and Pacino, again, it's fine. It's fine. Is it heat? No. Is it okay? Sure. Is it good enough to watch on a weekend getaway, before a college football game? Heck yeah. It works. So, again, Gurewitz, I think, wrote a good scene. I think the writing is not the problem. I guess here we go. Let's ask the Chat GPT, not how to buy Rhode Island. We'll just pretend like we didn't ask that earlier. But rank the technical... we can't spell. Technical aspects of Righteous Kill. We're way off the path of Inside Man. But either way, just to, get the info that we need here. We need to see if our guy Gurewitz is the through line. Oh, cinematography number 1. The movie looks really solid. The gritty digital style. Oh, chat, Gurewitz is going to plummet down these rankings. Sound and atmosphere. The ambient noise. Chat, all the points where the movie is quiet. It says are the best parts. Ambient city noise, interrogation room silence, street level audio will help sell the realism. Nothing iconic, but does the job cleanly, keeps the world tension where needed. Editing, competent but safe. The pacing holds together, especially early on, but it never builds momentum into something gripping. Cuts are functional, not creative. So, see, I mean, if Gurewitz is the 5th best part of this movie, then that means The Righteous Kill is actually a good movie. Production design. Oh man, our guy Gurewitz is shout out. IT, cut this out. We were trying to help him out. We were hoping Gurewitz would be ranked 1. It is what it is. Feels authentic. Precincts, apartments, crime scenes all look believable. Very standard cop movie. Stuff, nothing memorable or stylized. Music and score, number 5. Pretty forgettable. Hey, yo, we're not even in the good category anymore. It supports scenes but never elevates them? Oh, man. Brutal. No standout themes or moments that stick after the movie ends. Script and structure. Oh, chat. This is where things really drive. The structure tries a twist-driven crime story, but feels predictable and uneven. I mean, again, I love an unpredictable movie just as much as the next guy. And that is, I guess, if you're talking about watching a movie on Tubi, just throwing it on with, in that type of setting, there is almost an expectation of like what the movie is. So it's like, okay, Righteous Kill is actually like hitting the beats that I want it to hit. I get you're sitting down in the theater and you're just like, did I need to commit to that type of experience in that type of way? Again, we just obviously were talking about Sinners earlier, totally different, where you're just like, original movie, no basis for what's going to happen. Just totally locked in and kept engaged in every second of the film. And then obviously that's what leads to a great theater experience, or of course, great spectacle as well too. Great action set pieces and just like, I can only get this environment in the theater. But, again, that type of predictability for that type of commitment is something that is definitely, important as well too. And then the direction is, fortunately there was a director, I guess, that was, having a worse day than Russell Gurewitz. It is what it is. Honestly, the weakest thing. So the acting is apparently doesn't count. The acting doesn't even make the list. The acting is so bad. The acting? What else are we missing? I feel like that's about the only other thing you need. I guess, technical is all of the other aspects, but either way. Oh, I guess, see, and Pacino's the best one in this movie. I meant to say where it ranked amongst the technical aspects, but either way, it probably was still better than the writing, apparently. Pacino's better than Gurewitz in this movie. So Gurewitz just run out of Hollywood. I guess, do we have to double check Gurewitz's, Wikipedia? Like, hey, yo, How does the man only have 2 screenwriting credits? Something happened. It is what it is. Hopefully, Hopefully everything's okay. What do we got here? Life and career. Wrote second screenplay was Righteous Kill. This thriller starred. That literally just where his Wikipedia page ends. That's just it. It just ends at Righteous Kill. He wrote 2 TV episodes for Blind Justice in 2005 after penning Inside Man. I mean, I feel like you should just you don't get one more movie after Inside Man. Blind Justice in 2005. After penning. So he wrote Inside Man and then wrote the 2 episodes. So not after Inside Man, came out. Pause. But either way, the fact that movie is as strong as it is should give him a little bit more leeway. But again, that's how bad Righteous Kill is. It just totally neutralized Inside Man. These movies for his career completely cancel each other, and that's it. The Wikipedia page just stops. The film grossed $78.4 million, and apparently Hollywood would no longer have him. It is what it is. What was the budget for this movie? 160. It was profitable. A profitable movie, and apparently not enough. It is what it is. So, hey, that means one thing. We need to add Russell Gurewitz to our cast for Bloodsport 6. We might be getting something here, Chad. We might be getting something here. Just to update you guys, for those that may have not tuned into every live stream, it is what it is. We have been working on a concept for Bloodsport 6. We are working on acquiring the rights for the Bloodsport franchise for the Rem and Sam, for the upcoming Rem and Sam Plus venture that we're working on. So it's going to be, Bloodsport 6 is mainly the main thing that's going to be on there. But yeah, we've decided that initial casting rumors include Paulo Costa, Taylor Rooks, Bruce and Michael Buffer, Herb Dean, a couple of UFC guys there, nothing too crazy. But and then Russell Gurewitz, screenwriter, is looking like it might be something as well too. Did we have that as an option in here, chat? Hey, yo, we might have to see what. Oh, Ronda Rousey. I forgot about that. I forgot that Ronda Rousey was in this. I think that might have been before Taylor Rooks. But either way, what do we got here? Bloodsport 6. Hey, yo. I don't know how we spelled it there. Bloodsport 6 is equals Paulo Costa. Shout out. Taylor Rooks. We might just keep it as a co-star situation for now. Paulo Costa, Taylor Rooks, Russell Gurewitz, the readily available Russell Gurewitz. And again, I guess the Wikipedia page doesn't show any other reasons for why he would not have any other screenwriting credits, but Russell Gurewitz, screenwriting. Let's see what we get here. Is it going to be Bloodsport 6, Paulo Costa robs a bank? Maybe. But maybe we do get a twist ending, since he did have that with both Inside Man and Righteous Kill. Like we're saying, smart layered plots, twist-heavy agendas, dialogue, heavy tension, characters with secrets. He's not a just fights guy. He's cat mouse conspiracies, slow burn tension writer. Oh, chat, we've already overcomplicated our film. It is what it is. This is not just a tournament movie anymore. Underground Fight Club, Inside Man style mystery. The Kumite isn't just fights, it's a system. The people aren't who they say they are. Paulo Costa, I forgot James Johnson. Oh, this is great, chat. James Johnson is in this as well, too. Paulo Costa, the weapon, NBA-type enforcer, athlete, thinks it's about fighting, realizes it's bigger. Taylor Rooks, the mind, not just a reporter. She's already investing in the Kumite. Okay, so, classic blood sport beats there. And then James Johnson, the ghost, the bridge between the NBA and the Kumite, goes missing, goes rogue. Might be working inside the Kumite. Ooh, in the Bloodsport 6, Inside Man, the Kumite. Might be a pause. I don't know. But Gurewitz-style plot twist. Fight your way through the tournament. It becomes figure out what the tournament really is. Crypto. I don't know why, but feels like a crypto twist might be happening at some point in this as well, too. Just to continue to make it more confusing and convoluted. Taylor Brooks' character goes, the Kumite is fixed. Oh, there we go. Taking bets. Terry Rozier. Maybe we cast Terry Rozier in the Kumite. I don't know. Final twist. The Kumite isn't about winning. It's about finding one perfect fighter. Paulo Costa realizes he's the target, not the competitor. I think I like the fixing bets angle. Maybe it's like a Kalshi runs the Kumite. The Kalshi Kumite There we go. Kalshi Kumite. That'll be the next episode of the Rem and Sam live stream when we work on Bloodsport 6. We will work in Kalshi into the lineup. But it seems like or what do we got? What was the one that went FTX? What was the one that went under? I was going to say Sigmund Freud. Who is that guy, chat? Sam Friedman? Is that his name? I'm just throwing that out there as a guess. Is it FTX crypto a thing? Oh yeah, scandal. I think we're on the right path. It is what it is. FTX crypto was once a major global cryptocurrency exchange valued at $32 billion. That collapsed November 2022 due to massive fraud, mismanagement, and misissue of customer funds. Support. Oh, Alameda Research. That's what it is. Sam Bankman-Fried. Okay, what did I say? Sam Friedman? That might be somebody, but convicted of Freud, just on, I guess Freud on the mind. Hey, yo. Fraud and sentenced to 25 years in prison. The exchange is currently in bankruptcy, which plans to repay creditors with potential of receiving up to 142% of their claims. Wait a second here, chat. Wait a second. So if I'm understanding this right, and that's just from a little Google AI, it says here, and it's already been a couple years. We've forgotten the scandal when it happened, but just to revisit. So it's saying that the company goes bankrupt, but the creditors in the company make 142% profit on the company going bankrupt. So that seems like it's not a bad situation for them, to be honest. 142% is... I'm not an investor guy, so I don't know if that's a good return on investment. Obviously, that's your money plus 42% back, right? So it's not double and a half. I guess it is, if I'm making... Like, if you invested $1, you would get $1.42 back in the deal, right? So I guess it is doubling plus 42 because you get your original dollar. I guess your original dollar, but 142%, is that plus what? Is that plus 142 odds? Are we good at math? I don't know, but either way, FTX, I guess they might be available to. What did we need them for, chat? Oh, they might be available to be the bad guy at the Kumite. Sam Bankman-Fried. Hey, yo, I don't know what his demise has been in prison so far, but he might be available for get Luigi Mangione in this movie as well too. Might be a different movie all of a sudden, but either way, Inside Man Chat 20-year anniversary. Don't go anywhere. It's still going in the background. We'll be right back after this quick break. Denzel, Clive, and Jodie Foster has shown up. Chat off the bench, dropping 40, dropping 83. Did Jodie Foster drop 83 off the bench? Up next, chat, we'll look at the box score for Inside Man right after the break. Testing. We are back. Inside Man still going. The 20-year anniversary is today. I think day on, spot on. So perfect time, I would say, to celebrate the film. And we are in the middle of an absolute acting clinic as we speak, because we have the scene where Jodie Foster goes in and confronts Clive Owen's character, and Clive Owen gets to officially kind of unveil Christopher Plummer's backstory in that moment. And then immediately Jodie Foster goes and has a scene with Denzel. And I mean Spike as well too. His camera work subtle, but you've got the slow push in on the scene, and now we're kind of even up elevated over the top of them as well too. And you know, the way that they're kind of just the, you know, I say the tension, you know, obviously what kind of tension between Jodie Foster and Denzel, but you know, just the tension of professionals in, you know, a tense situation is, you know, captured in this moment. Excellent as well. And just the, again, the charisma at which Denzel works at. I mean, I don't think you could ever say that it's you know, a negative, but it literally is the only thing that you would ever say in his movies is like, would a lieutenant be this charismatic? You know, would Alonzo actually be that? I guess Alonzo would have to be to actually make that part work. So obviously that's why that works so well. This might be the one where if you just go, I guess maybe out of time, he is like a police chief, even though it's a small town police chief. Is small town police chief in Florida equal to, you know, hostage negotiator in New York City? We might have to do a ranking there and see what we got going on. Not to, you know, pit the forces against each other, but just to, you know, maybe see who would have the more responsibility. I guess maybe fiscal, the hostage negotiator, maybe people. I get maybe both. I don't know. But either way, you know, obviously, just like we're saying, the acting on full display between the three main characters there is great in that moment. And then, again, them just getting to directly interact on screen and Spike being able to capture that is great. But I think that does set us up for exactly what we were saying. And, you know, Ayo, obviously the chat GPT is busy tonight. It is what it is, pause. But, what do you want us to do, chat? Not be, you know, in 2026, it is what it is. But like we said, we got to look up the box score for Inside Man. You know, again, one of the great actor, director, performance, fun movies that we had. So what is the box score for the 2006 film Inside Man? I feel like we could go back and do this with the movies that we've already, you know, the movies we've already watched as well, too. The 200 film, Inside Man, that was the, I guess, Spike Lee doing the remake. But what is the box score? Here we go. For the 2006 Denzel film, Inside Man. We've got, I guess, some financial stats. Good to know. Good to know. Here we go. 88 on domestic, 184 to 186 worldwide on the box office. Salary cap, the budget is, is that the final? They're saying final score, box office, salary cap, budget, game length is the runtime. Arena, New York City, so MSG. They played at MSG. Denzel at the point, Clive Owen shooting guard, Jodie Foster as the small forward, Christopher Plummer as the power forward. In chat, they started Willem Dafoe over Ejiofor. It is what it is. Captain Darius is the center of the lineup. Ejiofor off the bench. Spike Lee is the head coach. Advanced metrics. Genre, pace. Offensive. Man, chat, this is an advanced breakdown. Can we get some PER? Offensive box plus minus. What is Denzel's assist percentage in this movie? But high and tight. Efficiency rating. High and tight script built around deception and negotiation. I guess what is Gurewitz then? What is a script writer? An assistant coach? Just maybe depends. But the ref maybe. I don't know. The studio is the ref, I think, or the league maybe. Clutch factor. Big twist ending. Heist wasn't what it seemed. Meticulously planned robbery. Turns a hostage with a detective mastermind, mysterious fixer. Final verdict. Big win. I mean, yeah, we're not really having a matchup, but we don't actually have a box score. But what are the player stats? We might just have to make our own stats, chat. We might just have to make our own stats, but we would maybe need a little runtime or something like that. How about Dalton Russell, Clive Owen with the MVP? Chat, we're going to have to make our own stats. We're going to have to make our own stats. But I guess what is this? 32 controlled scenes, moves set up 12, contingencies 9, deception 6, shutdowns 3, total mistakes 0. I guess that is true. If you get away, like, does that, because, like, I guess, you know, like, Affleck would be the MVP of the town. You know, I guess, spoiler alert for the town, 3, 2, 1, he gets away. He gets away. It is what it is. But even if, you know, and again, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1, even if he did suffer the same fate as our guy Renner in that movie, he would still be the MVP. I mean, you could say Renner would be the MVP for that movie. You know, if it was like a franchise, you know, I don't know if then, you know, the series, maybe Ben Affleck gets the MVP. And like, but like a Vin Diesel versus Paul Walker, like maybe that's the argument here, where maybe like we're saying Vin Diesel is like the guy that you would think would be the MVP, but if you look at the stats and watch the games, you're like, and maybe again, not hot take to say Paul Walker's the MVP, but it's like maybe Paul Walker's the MVP. But hey, yo, I can't believe Chat GPT gave the MVP to Clive Owen in this movie, a plus minus of 18. Okay, I don't know what that means, but scouting report, ran the entire offense, never rushed, never cracked, perfect efficiency game. So again, obviously for his career, one of his great games. So I guess it's good that he was able to get the MVP. Again, Denzel's got so many MVPs in this movie. Maybe this is like it's really not, because that, you know, I was gonna say the Patriots Super Bowl where Edelman won the MVP, the Rams Super Bowl, but that Super Bowl was boring. This game is not boring. So I don't know what, you know, again, Denzel doesn't really have a Rams Super Bowl, a movie where he's boring and another guy wins the MVP, but Denzel just like sets him up perfectly in the movie. Like other actors definitely have that movie. Denzel doesn't have that movie. Denzel, I mean, again, there might not be an athlete, because is there an athlete that is able to still be the best? Again, even LeBron has to be. I guess we were doing the LeBron comparison, but I don't think LeBron could be. Again, that's no disrespect. That's just, you know, again, he's 41. What do you want? Like, I don't think you can expect a 41-year-old to carry a season or whatever the same way. You know, Denzel, I think if Denzel had to be the star of a TV show right now, you know, is that not a great TV show? It is what it is. But either way, 24, 10, and 5 for Denzel. Oh, chat. They're actually, I think they're scoring the plot. They're not like scoring the performance. So, and maybe they are scoring the performance a little bit, but I mean, Denzel doesn't have 8 less points than Clive Owen in this movie. That's ridiculous. 10 assists to Clive Owen's 12, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers. 2 turnovers for Denzel. Hey, yo, what's the turnover exactly? Because, I mean, again, it literally, I guess Clive Owen does have to be the MVP because he does plan it so perfectly that Denzel can't lose. Like, Clive Owen has to win. Again, like the movie, it's just the runtime of the movie doesn't give Denzel enough time to win. Again, if Inside Man was a TV show and this was season 1, could you do a whole season of him imagine? That would be crazy. Would it be like a 24 style show where I guess it'd be a 24-hour hostage situation? Maybe it's a little bit of a revamped Inside Man. I don't know. See, now we're already pitching the remake that we said was impossible. Who knows? But that would definitely be drawn out. Hey, yo, you're really gonna have to dive into that video game in episode 7. Make no mistake. But you know, I guess it could be it doesn't have to be a full day. It could be like a 6-hour hostage situation. So there we go. See, we've already made drastic improvements. We just cut out 18 episodes. Holy cow, that was close. That was almost a crazy season. But yeah, we have 6 episodes, 6 hours. I guess it doesn't necessarily say, you know, pause, how long is the hostage situation? We type quickly in Inside Man heist as we try to figure this out. Because don't they have to get Pete's at some point? In 2006, it did last for 24 hours before the perpetrators blend in with the hostages and exit. However, the mastermind remained hidden, and so skipping ahead a couple minutes. But either way, again, I guess so. Yeah, there we go. 20. I guess maybe every episode's 3 hours, because the pit. That's the pit, right? The pit. Every episode's an hour, so it's like the pit, but it's inside man, inside the pit. I don't know if that's that might be also on Rem and Sam Plus. But what are you saying? So yeah, maybe we have to just make the hours a little bit longer or something. We have to change the hours. Who's that guy that said he had like 3 days in a day because he has 7-hour days? So, the man's a genius. It is what it is. But, I guess we have a new day every minute, chat. Every minute. It is what I don't know. But what are we saying? So the Inside Man TV show is definitely something that, if he has that second season to figure out the heist, like I think Denzel could figure it out. But just again, obviously with where we're at in the movie, it's just unfortunately not going to happen. So again, that maybe goes to the series. Denzel in season 2 puts up 40 points and 10 rebounds. It's like Denzel just completely figures out this case. It's just like, how does he take down the entire criminal enterprise of New York? It's just Denzel turns into Batman in Inside Man 2. But Jodie Foster, again, runtime, off the bench, not necessarily going to get as many shot attempts as Denzel and Clive Owen. But respectfully, just the role in the movie. But 18, 6, and 3. And, again, that's a really strong... I think she might be 20, honestly, in this game, at least. At least 25. Because I think Denzel puts up 30 as well. So I think Jodie Foster, just in that one scene... just in that one scene alone, puts up, like, 10 with her and Clive Owen. And then there's a couple scenes with her and Christopher Plummer where she literally has, like, she's got the Christopher Plummer... She controls the Christopher Plummer character, in a way. And, he's the big, powerful guy. In some ways, he's getting raked over this whole movie. It is what he's got a guy breaking into his bank. The Jodie Foster character is making demands. But yeah, 12 points for -10 for Arthur Case. Not a great game. Puts up numbers early, power and influence, but turns over, killed him late. Hey, yo. 12 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 0 steals, 0 blocks. He didn't block anything in this movie. That's for sure. 5 turnovers. Yes, sir. Yeah, Defoe. They're giving Defoe 10 points. 10 points? Where are Defoe's 10 points coming from? Again, great stuff, I guess, from Defoe in this movie. It's great to have him, again, the quality of a guy just in that role. It's just like, okay, the fourth part of this movie is going to be great. So that can be, I guess, a guy putting up 10. Oh, Chad, Clive Owen just did again, spoiler alert, he just did the fake execution of the hostage. It is what it is. We've got Denzel locked in. Again, the camera work for Spike Lee is, that's locked in right there. I don't know how you frame locked in a movie, but Spike Lee did it. It is what it is. The little just the little shake, and then it's kind of following him backwards, and you don't really see Denzel walking, but he is moving forward. So again, obviously perfect for the emotion there. Clive Owen ramping up the situation. Edge of 4, the 6th man, 8 points. 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. A turnover? Oh, chat. You hate to see it. Team stats, A+. 0 plot holes. Half-court chess match. So, going back to that Cavs-Warriors situation, I guess that was for training day, not necessarily Inside Man. But, the way that Game 7 was kind of a slow half-court game, I guess LeBron's block, was in the full court. But, most of the time that was a half-court game. Maybe it's the similar pacing for Inside Man. Honestly... Oh, there we go. Like an 80s finals game, maybe? Like a Bird Magic? It does, maybe... Ooh, maybe not Bird Magic. I want to say, could it be like a Bird... When Bird played Hakeem early on? That makes Clive Owen Hakeem. I guess that makes Denzel Larry Bird. Obviously, I think Denzel is a better actor than Larry Bird. It's close because Larry Bird is, the 8th best player of all time. So, we're obviously making the statement that Denzel's the best actor of all time. But regardless, so that would make, Denzel Jordan or LeBron in that situation, just depending on what generation, or Bill Russell as well, too. So, it could be a Russell Bob Pettit. Wasn't there a Russell Bob Pettit finals? And honestly, Bob Pettit might have won that one. So that might be the Clive Owen gets the plot win in this situation. Is Clive Owen Bob Pettit and Denzel Bill Russell? I think Denzel Bill Russell is definitely fair. But let's investigate Bob Pettit, Clive Owen. 2 MVPs for our guy Bob Pettit, 11 All-Stars. So that might be a little bit more like Academy nominations. than Clive Owen got, but he did, yeah, win the title in 57-58. So that would have been, early Bill Russell. Obviously, Pet had been around for a while at that point. Russell was the MVP of the league, though. So, obviously the impact was his entire career. But, yeah, they won the finals in 6 games over the Celtics that year. So you have to give him credit. Cliff Hagan, though, led in scoring for the finals and, I guess, win shares as well, too. But, yeah, 25 for Hagan. Wait, how did Hagan have more points than Pettit? Pettit averaged more. Pettit averaged more points and played the same amount of games, but Hagan had more? Wait a second. Do we have totals here for points? What are we looking at? What happened? For the playoffs. That's for the playoffs. I am not even reading what the label is there. It is what it is. Okay, moving on. So, yeah, Pettit, 29-17 in the finals. Cliff Hagan, 25-9. Is Jodie Foster Cliff Hagan? That might be. And then Spike Lee's Red Auerbach? Kinda. That's definitely getting there. The comps are definitely working. Hey, Chad, I didn't know we would have to go to the 57-58 season, but that might be kind of close again. Pettit might be a little strong. Let's go back to, with all due respect to Clive Owen, let's go back to Clive Owen's career here real quick. Does he have an Academy nomination? Awards and nominations? Ooh, it's looking good. Gosford Park? Okay, Critics' Choice. The Phoenix Critics' Choice Society Award. I mean, the Phoenix Critics' Choice Society has been doing great work for a long time, but they don't even have their own Wikipedia page. It is what it is. Boston Society. Just he's winning the local societies. New York, they love him in the local communities. Seattle, Toronto. Apparently can't quite break through on a national scale, I guess, for our guy Clive Owen. This is listed by year. So, Golden Globe. Okay, we got a Golden Globe. That's like an all-star. We'll say a Golden Globe is like an all-star. An Academy Award is like making All-NBA. Potentially a nomination. Then you win. That's like getting the MVP. So yeah, Golden Globe. Miniseries. He did get nominated for Hemingway. Shout out. So I guess, a television film series. So that would have been an Emmy? An Emmy? So Joaquin Phoenix getting an Emmy? We said that earlier. Joaquin Phoenix in that role. I guess, I don't know, Joaquin Phoenix doing television for some reason. That hasn't really happened. But yeah, and the Nick as well too is a hospital drama. It looks like is what that show is about. So I guess that's why maybe we haven't watched as much Clive Owen. A lot of his finer work is recently, anyways, has been in some TV stuff. But yeah, hasn't quite, I guess, made All-NBA. So Bob Pettit, again, did win a couple MVPs. But a guy who didn't make All-NBA, but like led his team. This is like Latrell Sprewell versus Tim Duncan. Oh, Chad, maybe we got it. Denzel is Tim Duncan. Oh, it's perfect. We should have gone there first. That's honestly, IT, cut that out that we didn't bring up Tim Duncan in the GOAT conversation. We're being too much of a journalist. We ought to be biased. It's MJ and Duncan is really what it is. Get LeBron out of here until he can, win 5. Double check. LeBron's got 4 finals, right? Hey, he needs that 5th one. He's gonna win it this year with Luka and beat the Spurs and get past Tim Duncan. Double whammy. Pause. It'll be bad. But what are you saying? The 20, and he's got more All-Stars and All-NBAs, so I guess, yeah, obviously the case is there for LeBron over Tim Duncan. We hate to admit it as Spurs fans, but it is what it is. But Denzel is Tim Duncan, I think could be fair. The 2001 season, he did win the MVP the same year that Denzel won the Oscar for Training Day. So that's kind of the peak of the powers, that early 2000s. You could say, of course, Shaq and Kobe, but I don't think Clive Owen is quite Kobe. Respectfully for Clive Owen. And obviously he had the truck bugged up as well too, and knew exactly what they were doing. Giving Willem Dafoe instructions. Willem Dafoe, the one time you need him, he can't hear through the intercom. It is what it is. I mean, Denzel probably could have explained it a little bit better, but the moment is a panicky moment. Is what it is. Clive Owen. The first time we see his face, a little bit of I guess maybe not the first time, but a little bit of a Mandalorian type role for our guy Clive Owen. Clive Owen, Pedro Pascal. Now, there's an interesting career comp. I don't know if Pedro Pascal is Fantastic Four that might be the Jason Bourne. I don't know. Has he had the... And he has been good in TV as well, too. But I don't know if he's quite had the Inside Man at this point. But there is a similar vibe that is there. And I don't know, did Clive Owen ever have the stock that... Again, Pedro Pascal was a guy where... And I'm not trying to, discredit his stock too much at this point, but literally 12 months ago, 14 months ago, we thought that Pedro Pascal, and we might have to go back and legitimately say that he was the biggest star in Hollywood or TV at some point. Just him, again, with that Last of Us run and then him landing all those roles, that is still, and those movies dropping as well too, but that is just an incredible amount of sway he had there for a second. And I guess we're saying the TV with The Mandalorian as well. Kingsman, The Golden Circle. And speaking of Denzel, he is acting across Denzel in the equal Denzel, not Denzel, then Pedro Pascal is... Clive Owen is better. I think the OBS just cut out when we said that. We messed up. It was not right. Clive Owen not better than Denzel. But Clive Owen, I think, is better than Pedro Pascal in Equalizer 2, if we're just comparing the two performances. But yeah, I think that he is... So Clive Owen is Latrell Sprewell, maybe. Latrell Sprewell, a good TV show actor, but maybe could have done a couple more movies. But Jason Kidd as well, too. I don't know if Jason Kidd ever won an MVP. He did, I think, win more All-NBAs than Clive Owen. He got more All-NBAs than Clive Owen, apparently. Just looking at the stats. But 6-time All-NBA for him. 5-time assist. Is he more supporting actor? He might be honestly like a Joe Pesci, because supporting actor who had the run where he was the main guy for a while, but is never you would say supporting, but is still as big of a star as anybody in the movie. It's just sometimes he's not always the top billed guy. But Jason Kidd was more of a lead guy throughout the course of his career than I think Pesci was, at least in his best movies. Anyways, Kidd was the best guy on those finals teams. Just a little bit, again, more of a playmaker, scorer when he had to be. I mean, Kidd's in 2 finals and Chris Paul's not. What are we saying here, chat? What are we saying? We're just now somehow in the Inside Man movie rewatch, we've gone into is Jason Kidd better than Chris Paul argument. I didn't even think about that until right now. But it is what it is. And 2-time Sportsmanship Awards. I think it's because Chris Paul, is he in the 10 club, 10 All-NBAs maybe for Chris Paul? 11 for All-NBA, 12 All-Stars. It is what it is. No Sportsmanship Awards for Chris Paul, apparently. An All-Star Game MVP, 9-time All-Defense as well, too. A decade of being, one of the 4 best defensive guards in the league. I don't know if Jason Kidd quite was at that level, but I think Jason Kidd was, a fine defender in his own right. Did he make any... Oh, he did make 9 All-Defenses as well, too. Jeez Louise, chat. Jeez Louise. From 1998, first team All-Defense in 98, first team in 2000, 2001, and then 2 second teams after that. So there we go. There is no case. There is no case. Jason Kidd is better than Chris Paul. It is what it is. I hate to say it for the Chris... Sorry to Russillo. Russillo, call in and defend Chris Paul. It is what it is. We'd love to discuss it. And obviously both those guys were not able to get past Tim Duncan in playoff series, so we can argue that Tim Duncan's better than both of them. At the end of the day, we'll agree to agree on the greatness of Tim Duncan. Shout out. I guess, will we agree that Denzel is Tim Duncan? He can help us figure out who Clive Owen is in the NBA. I don't know. Maybe Kidd is not a bad comp, like we're saying. Clive Owen maybe could play Jason Kidd in a biopic at some point, potentially. I don't know if that's accurate, but we just have to get him in the room, I guess, and get a couple line readings, see how that would go there. And I guess, is Inside Man technically a finals making move? It could be like a conference finals if we're saying the Academy is part of it as well. Here, let's check the accolades for this movie and see, because again, with the personnel, it's gonna have that type of potential gravitas to it. Doesn't look like it didn't get nominated for anything. Hey, yo, on any scale, that's crazy. That's crazy. There's no. What about the Phoenix Society Award? The Phoenix Society Award was not like in the Inside Man production. It is what it is, I guess. Hey, yo. On the opening day, the film grossed $9 million with an average of $3,300 per theater. The end of the weekend, it grossed $28 million. Inside Man held the record weekend for Denzel starring vehicle, surpassing Man on Fire, which debuted 27.2. I just saw Man on Fire there, and I was like, okay, I just want to read what Man on Fire is going on there. But yeah, that's crazy that it is completely underrated in that way. Roger Ebert criticized the narrative. Here's a thriller that's curiously reluctant to get to the payoff. When it does, we see why. We can't accept the motive and method of the bank robbery. We can't believe in one character. We can't understand another. Hey, yo, Roger Ebert, chat. He might have missed the mark on this one. Not gonna lie. Did somebody in the Wikipedia put in like the AI Roger Ebert that they've been using on the chat cheap or on the Rewatchables pod? Or is this the actual Robert Ebert review? It looks like it's actually Robert Ebert. Hey, yo, rest in peace to the legend. But Spike Lee, Inside Man, has a detective tell a bank robber, you saw Dog Day Afternoon. You're Stalin. The problem is we've seen Dog Day Afternoon, and Lee is Stalin. Here is a thriller, like we're saying, curiously, but blah, 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 blah. The movie, to give the movie its due, many of the same questions occur to the hero. Many of these same questions. Oh, okay, so we're skipping the article and then expecting to understand what's going on. The robbers are led by Clive Owen, who spends most of the movie wearing a mask. That's making it sound like it's a bad thing. I can just hear his tones saying that in a condescending way. I'm not going into any detail about how the crisis plays out. I'm going to conceal the purpose of the robbery. What I must point out is that Christopher Plummer, as a bank president, doesn't look in his 90s. Oh, Roger Ebert. Hey, yo, that's old man jealousy right there. Respectfully, respect Roger P. Rest in peace. Hey, yo, stumbling over our words. Respect and peace, Roger Ebert. But you can't criticize a guy for playing a 90-year-old because he doesn't look 90. Like, what, you want Christopher Plummer to be more decrepit in his role? Hey, yo, Christopher Plummer needs to be just more age. Can we age this guy up a little bit? I guess you could, obviously, some makeup and stuff. And makeup to make an old guy look old would be funny. And honestly, it might be a good morale boost for Christopher Plummer. Again, an old guy to be in makeup to be playing an older guy. It's like, oh, look at the runway. Look at the runway for our guy Christopher Plummer. But hey, yo, that can't be a bad thing in the movie. Giving him a mustache, a walking stick, and some wrinkles doesn't do it. I guess, what did they do? They already had Christopher Plummer in makeup. I just thought Christopher Plummer looked like in 06. It's pretty much what he looked like now. So, it can't be too much makeup that was done there. Let's see what we've got. Oh, chat, rest in peace. Hey, yo. I guess, you can't always keep up with everybody. But, yeah, 2021 is, I guess we don't know if that picture was taken in 21. But, I mean, that's how he looks in the movie. Hey, yo, shout out. So, obviously, always looked great is the point. I mean, chat, hey, yo. Young Christopher Plummer. Christopher Plummer is in Sound of Music. I mean, chat, we've learned, what else did we learn earlier? Who was in Nemo? Our childhood. All these things we're learning. I honestly probably haven't watched Sound of Music in, now we can start saying things like 15 years. Hey, yo. I mean, chat, live on the pod, it is what it is. I mean, check the tapes. I don't think we ever claimed to be an expert in the Sound of Music. But, I mean, it seems like it is definitely just one of the bigger name films of all time. Like, everybody, whether or not you've seen Sound of Music, like, of Sound of Music, I'm pretty sure. So, but maybe I'm just in a Julie Andrews corner at some point. I don't know. Shout out to Mary Poppins. But Christopher Plummer is Baron Von Trapp. I honestly had no idea. No idea that was Christopher Plummer. Hey, yo. I have to go back and watch Sound of Music or something. It is what it is. Revisit the whole Christopher Plummer discography now. It's gonna be a long watch, but we'll get there. So yeah, shout out. I was like, maybe were him and Julie Andrews together? Maybe they were. A little co-star, situation that happens. I mean, obviously, seems like they got along okay. But yeah, I mean, again, he's one of those guys that was just, he's an iconic old guy actor. It is what it is. I mean, again, clearly with this role, I mean, he's just an iconic actor. It is what it is. But again, some guys are iconic old guy actors. What did we have our ranking the last time? It was like our smoke a pack in what was the other category there that we had? I forget. Let's look that up. And again, obviously, Clive Owen, not the MVP of the movie, but we'll have to, I guess, hash that out in a second. But what was the other? Smoke a pack, and then tough guy. That was the second category. The smoke a pack guy versus the tough guy rankings. So the old guy category is another category. Like, some actors are old guy actors. Obviously now, Morgan Freeman, shout out, iconic old guy actor. He might honestly be number one. Ian McKellen, iconic old guy actor. Like Patrick Stewart is an iconic old guy actor now for sure. But obviously, Patrick Stewart, I can picture picture a young Patrick Stewart. I mean, he has, I feel like, rocked that bald look for a while. So it's just the evolution of that. However you can, bald you can be. But what do we got? Most iconic old guy actors. Shout out again to the old guy. Alfred Molina, Brad Pitt. Hey, yo. I don't know that. Jeff Bridges. Sure. Richard Gere. Again, these are all just actors that are now old, if that makes sense. I mean, again, so is, with respect to Morgan Freeman, so is Morgan Freeman. Oh, Clint Eastwood, also in our smoked a pack and tough guy rankings. But Harrison Ford is, I mean, obviously iconic heartthrob run there with the Indiana Jones. What are we saying? I almost just called him Harrison Ford just straight up. It is Han Solo. I forgot his first name for a second. Han Solo. But yeah, Air Force One, but was definitely a little more mature in those roles. Like, not necessarily, if I'm not mistaken, did he have like the young Leo Chalamet, Jacob Elordi phase that's going on right now? Like, I don't know if he was like the 20-year-old, was like Rob Lowe or something like that. But, again, obviously, was Harrison Ford ever Rob Lowe? I'm not sure. But he was, again, hard for Freeman. De Niro in Taxi Driver. You could say Taxi Driver's his best role. Again, obviously, maybe we would say Goodfellas, but, young De Niro is great as well, too. Schwarzenegger, Arnold, Brosnan, Stallone. Michael Caine. For sure, Michael Caine. I mean, our guy De Palma, of course, has that movie with Michael Caine where he is the bad guy in that movie. Spoiler alert. A Time to Dress to Kill. A Time to Kill. Is that Samuel L. Jackson and Sandra Bullock? Which one's A Time to Kill, Chad? Hey, yo. This might be yeah, that's Samuel L. Hey, yo. I mean, Samuel L., you'll see him. I mean, iconic old guy actor. But obviously Samuel L., he'll have a great career. It is what it is. So, it is a little bit dependent of where you're at in the moment. Jack Nicholson, that's getting there. That is definitely getting there. Yeah, Brad Pitt doesn't count. Idris Elba, hey, yo. Now we're getting old guy jealous. It is what it is. Like, they're not old guy actors. They'll just, I guess, always be hot guy actors. It is what it is. You want me to find a better phrase for it? I can't. They're hot guy actors. What do you want me to do? Sean Connery. Sean Connery is in that, I think he's in that Harrison Ford. What do you say, adult heartthrob? Hey, yo, Roger Moore. Kirk Douglas here, but Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas, good old guy actor. But he did have a lot of his roles, maybe good middle-aged actor more than old guy. Older male actors. Shout out to Rick Fox. Hey, yo. I guess his name, older male actor, but I don't know if that's what we're looking for. Anthony Hopkins. For sure, definitely starting to age in there. And he is kind of old in Silence of the Lambs as well. So, yeah, I think Anthony Hopkins might go into the old guy category there as well. Yeah, Eastwood. Hey, yo. John Voight. Yeah, John Voight is a sleeper, chat. John Voight is a sleeper. Because you go back to some of those 80s. I feel like one of the ones we just mentioned, he's the villain in. Let me double check. One of those president movies. He's in Heat. National Treasure. Ayo. I mean, Chad. The iconic filmography of Jon Voight. I guess the OG Anaconda as well too. Oh, Varsity Blues. I think I'm thinking about him in Varsity Blues because I was rewatching that a bunch recently after rest in peace Vanderbeek, but Zoolander as well. But I guess yeah. What movie is he up? Oh, is that not Empire Strikes Back? Hey yo, what's the Enemy of the State? Hey yo, Will Smith and Gene Hackman and Jon Voight in Empire Strikes Back. That might be a ChatGPT plot right there. But yeah, that's not the movie. Ali as well. Most Wanted. He's in Most Wanted. Yeah, look at him in Most Wanted in '97. He's old guy. He's always been an old guy, but he's still 2004 National Treasure, looking great. Or some of the other Reagan. Does he play Ronald? Oh, Dennis Quaid plays Reagan in 2024. Hey, yo. It is what it is. It's Mission Impossible 2 as well. Ray Donovan, hanging out in Ray Donovan as looks like a part of the career. Oh, he's Mickey Donovan. Is he Ray Donovan's dad? Of course Jon Voight is Ray Donovan's dad. Hey, yo, I've never seen the show, but just judging by trailers and, Liev Schreiber casting photos, it would 100% seem like a Jon Voight character. 100% his dad is a Jon Voight character. It is what it is. Can we get Jon Voight in? Oh, here we go. Mickey Voight. What's his name? Mickey Donovan? Hey, yo. I mean, yeah, Jon Voight's sneaky first team. If Jon Voight's nominated for an Oscar, we're not even going to cook up first team. We're just going to assume he's on it. We're just going to assume Jon Voight first team. I don't know how Christopher Plummer got overtaken by Jon Voight all of a sudden, but unfortunately, Christopher Plummer was just not the coach in Varsity Blues. It is what it is. Christopher Plummer did not sub in Vanderbeek I guess, he didn't sub in. Paul Walker got hurt, unfortunately. And, Paul Walker would have had the starting job the whole time as well, too. That's the underrated part of the story you forget about is, obviously the what if career of Paul Walker there. But, obviously, as we just referred to at least the Varsity Blues character with the knee injury. But the list of awards and nominations from Jon Voight, he won in '78. So I guess he didn't win the Academy Award as an old guy actor. What do we got here? Coming Home, pause, 1978. Nominated in 69, 78, 85. Oh, and then he got nominated for Ali again, I guess, in 2001. So has gotten nominated this century. But let's see what we got here. Jon Voight, Coming Home, 1978. Oh, chat. A young Jon Voight. Hey, yo. Who was the other guy we were... Oh, Christopher Plummer. Baron Von Trapp. Could Jon Voight have played Baron Von Trapp? Hey, yo. Shout out to Oscar winner Jon Voight. This is the role, chat. Looking a little like maybe some Casey Affleck vibes. I don't know why he's given Manchester by the Sea here, but I guess, some slight Casey Affleck, like we're saying. So, shout out. But I guess, is that Jane Fonda in this as well? I just saw Jane Fonda's name. Chat, we might be watching Coming Home tonight. It is what it is. We said, the Christopher Plummer discography, but that was before I forgot about the discography. I mean, if there's a Christopher Plummer discography, make no mistake, that goes to the top of the list. But it might have to be a rewatch of some of these Jane Fonda movies. 9 to 5. We might have to throw on 9 to 5. It is on Tubi right now. It is on Tubi. I feel like it was auto playing the other day. Or that might have been Monster-in-Law, to be honest. Honestly, I think Monster... For some reason, HBO, that's the post-Sinners option, is Monster-in-Law with Jennifer Lopez. But 9 to 5 with Jane Fonda? Or, what else? What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of 8. Why am I getting 9 to 5 and 80 for Brady mixed up? I don't know, but I was honestly thinking of 80 for Brady as I was referring to that. But hey, 9 to 5 counts. And 80 for Brady's on Paramount Plus. So, yeah, we might legitimately be watching 80 for Brady tonight. We haven't yet, but it's got Jane Fonda, and it's been, 2 years? It's been 3 years since 80 for Brady dropped? Oh, chat, where is the time gone? How has it been 3 years since 80 I remember just yesterday. Like, just yesterday when the trailers for 80 for Brady dropped. Hey, yo. I guess, pause a moment, but not too long. because time's flying by. But hey, yo, it is what it is. So yeah, shout out to Jane Fonda, shout out to John Voight, and shout out to Christopher Plummer. Shout out to the old guy actors in the community. But yeah, we do have to up Denzel's scores here. Denzel puts up at least, we'll give him 31. We'll give him 31. I guess what did Clive Owen had 32. We can give Clive Owen 34 because again, this might be a career 36. So 32 for Denzel, 30 Clive puts up 36. I think that might be the accurate number, but this could be in the 40s. This could honestly be in the 40s. A conference finals 40-point game. What would that be? Like Steph had that 30-point half against Houston. So that could definitely, again, in terms of a game amount, be kind of close. 36, 11, and 9 for our guy Clive Owen. And then 32, 10, and 6 for Denzel. And that's right, we needed to up Jodie Foster as well, too. I think Jodie Foster has got 24, 20, like what did we say earlier, 25 off the bench in this game. I think that's fair. I wonder if we can find screen time. That would be, because movies are, generally longer runtime in terms of, than an NBA runtime game, 48 minutes compared to, 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. But I feel like actor screen time, it could get pretty close, but I was seeing, now that I think about it, I did see a breakdown of this year's past Oscar nominations for the best actor, and it was the amount of time that they were all in the film. It said Michael B. Jordan was in the film in hour 6, but they should double it because he's smoking stacks, so really it's more than the runtime of the film itself. But I forget of all of the best actors who did have, maybe Chalamet was number 1. I want to say that Michael B. was 3 out of 6, so he was kind of more in the middle. But then there was somebody in like the 50s as well too. But I don't remember that part exactly correctly. But can we get inside? Let's see here. This might be research pieces for future parts to remember here. But inside man, let's see, actor run times, and see if we can see how long did they play in each role. Yeah, it's gonna be we're gonna have to be a little more specific, I guess, to try to figure out what's going on. We're gonna have to get the stopwatch out and time it and see what is going on here. Yeah, the Inside Man TV series I don't think is connected to the OG Inside Man IP. It is what it is. But yeah, this might honestly this might be 40s. This could be pretty close. It depends on where, again, if you're where you're ranking. Oh, and I mean, again, this scene is an exact reason as why they'd be putting up so much. Christopher Plummer and Denzel. I mean, again, if we were talking about not even what are bad things about this, I guess it'd just be like, what do you want to see out of this movie? I don't even know the best way to phrase it, but it just, you could definitely use more Christopher Plummer and Denzel scenes just because they're such good actors at playing off each other. And I'm not saying, replace Christopher Plummer scenes, replace Jodie Foster scenes with Christopher Plummer scenes, or replace Clive Owen scenes with Christopher Plummer scenes. I'm saying make a movie too. Or, add 10 minutes of runtime. Again, you do start to tread a little bit of water. The fact that the scenes that they do have together are so powerful, the payoff of that, the fact that they're not overutilized in the movie together as well too, I'm sure is a part of it. But the scene where they're interacting here in the office is great. And then the scene at the end as well, too, that we'll get to, obviously, where he is at the restaurant pulling up the chair. I mean, is good. And it's Denzel, in the last 4 minutes of the movie, the last 4 minutes of the game. I guess I don't know if it's the last 4 minutes of the movie, but, it's Denzel in the last 4 minutes of the game just being like, I'm going to completely make sure that we win this game and lock in and... again, you could say he scores every point, but Plummer's great in these scenes. I mean, Foster when she needs to. Ejiofor sitting next to Denzel, really doesn't steal too much shine away from him. So you gotta give him credit there. But he really does take over and get to really act in a way that I'm not saying he doesn't. Obviously he gets to over the course of the movie, but there is just just the power. He really is just turned up in these scenes. Like, again, it's literally as good of Denzel as you're ever gonna get. I mean, it's to his credit that he's able to raise the bar. He's able to bring it every time the way that he does. But the heights that he gets to in this movie, acting wise, are great. And like I'm saying, is this the last Denzel take? I don't know of the day, but this is definitely one that, again, I don't know if I can't decide if it's a hot take or if I'm just gonna call it personal opinion. I mean, both are true, but I would definitely, if I'm going movie collections, would probably take like that 2000s Denzel versus any period that he does have. And again, as we'll say for, the rest of our lives, I assume, again, we'll see how this new Coogler movie keeps moving up the rankings. But for now, I was just typing in best movies, assuming Training Day was going to pop up. Training Day, of course, is definitely, like we're saying, way, way up there. It is what it is. But that whole run is just for what, again, for what I want to watch are the movies that I gravitate to most from his career. And again, the 90s is crazy. The 90s is crazy because, again, you're getting Crimson Tide. You're getting Above the Rim. You're getting, like we're saying, Malcolm X and Mo Better Blues. You do get Remember the Titans right on the line, though, on 2000. So what do we say? Yeah, Mo Better Blues. Let's hear it. Mo Better Blues, Malcolm X, Crimson Tide, Devil in a Blue Dress, throwing that back on will be a deciding factor. Oh, chat. Honestly, The Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston. Oh, that one hurts to lose. That one hurts to lose. So we got He Got Game, The Preacher's Wife, Crimson Tide, and Malcolm X as his Mount Rushmore of the 90s. We're putting The Preacher's Wife on there over Mo Better Blues. It is what it is. Is Whitney Houston and Mo Better Blues? We're going to have to rewatch and find out. I don't think so. But either way, that versus Remember the Titans, Man on Fire, Inside Man, and American Gangster, I guess, if we're going for the run. But again, this is because the critic score, like literally, I think the critic score of Man on Fire is like the only thing turning this down. And he does do I guess, do you say a little bit of like the actor turn? John Q and Antoine Fisher are obviously a little bit more character driven, even though there is, action and intensity in John Q. Ayo. But regardless, he gets back to it, real quick, Carl Franklin, and out of time. He's let me get real steamy and grimy again in 2003. Pause. But again, just because you don't maybe have the critical acclaim of some of those, like this is every bit as good as the 90s. Like it's pretty close, again, considering the other movies that we didn't mention. But, the quality is there as well, too. Courage Under Fire, He Got Game. Is The Bone Collector fun? Like if you have to have the 90s versus the 2000s, like you're gonna enjoy The Bone Collector after watching it a few times. It is what it is. Like I said, Fallen has a cult following to it as well. Hey, Denzel using some of those Alonzo Training Day skills to unload the gun at the end of the day. It is what it is. But, and I mean, if you heard us stumbling over our words a second ago, I mean, it could be a lot of things. But that was the scene with Denzel showing back up and having a little time with his way. Ayo. It is what it is. But, Denzel's sexy guy. He is going to probably try to, what do you say, get off his feet after a long day. I guess, maybe. I don't know. We tread lightly. But I guess, 90s, 2000s, or 2010s. And I think 2010s, like we said, is underrated with The Equalizer in terms of what collection of movies people would take. I mean, and people love, like, for me personally, I would say, like, Unstoppable, Safe House, Flight. Like, just because I rewatched the 2000s movies so much, like, I just don't get to the 2010s. It is what it is. But again, like, all these movies, like, have their fan bases. Maybe the only 07 and 09, people don't talk about these. The Great Debaters has been at the DVD store and been thinking about that one for some reason. And yeah, the taking of the Pelham 1, 2, 3, like you probably don't hear people talk about that one too much. But you got Tony Scott directing, so like obviously him and Denzel, there is a baseline there. But Book of Eli, Unstoppable, Safe House, Flight, Two Guns. Two Guns is fun. For sure. The Equalizer, The Magnificent Seven. Fences. Roman J. Israel Esquire, The Equalizer 2, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Oh, I guess producer role in that one. And then, yeah, I guess 2020s is now we've got, I guess if we include the producer with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, I guess you get Jordan for Journal there. A Journal for Jordan, Ayo, there as well, too. But actor roles, 2020s, like we're saying, The Little Things, Tragedy of Macbeth, Equalizer 3, Gladiator 2, Highest to Lowest. I mean, Black Panther 3. I mean, assuming if Black Panther 3 is a hit, but just to talk in industry terms. But if Black Panther 3 is a hit, then it is definitely going to continue to help round this out, because you do again have a great Equalizer. I'm sure if Gladiator 2 is like your 7th movie, best movie of the decade, then that might not be the worst thing. And Highest to Lowest is a great watch as well too. But yeah, 2000s Denzel is the best, and this movie is again maybe for the construction of movies of this time period, and maybe in general, is about as good as you're gonna get. Spike Lee in his bag, Clive in his bag, dropping 36, Denzel with 32. So shout out, a classic. We are glad to revisit it 20 years later, and I think we made the right choice with going with Inside Man over Batman vs. Superman. But make no mistake, do we do the post-credit scene now, chat? Ayo, in classic superhero fashion, it is what it is. 10 years ago, this week, one of the biggest disappointments in movie history. Rotten Tomatoes scored 28%. And I guess, director's cut versus theatrical cut. Again, Zack Snyder, always his vision. Nobody sees it. Except for us after we rewatching it a million times. I mean, we can't even contain ourselves. Literally, it is what it is. And like we said, I guess audience score, 63%. There we go. There's hope, chat. There's hope that people do like this movie, and we may be revisiting it this week in a special episode, or we'll catch it next time. Who's to say? But yeah, either way, Inside Man was the focus tonight. Denzel, like we said, all the guys, shout out, great stuff. Shout out to the NBA as well too. We love the games. But yeah, we'll be back Friday. March Madness. We've got Michigan in the time slot that we will be live. So I mean, is that coincidence? But it just happens to work out that way as well too. And like I said, we'll have to save our NBA verses for another night. Ayo, another sneak peek for you there as well too. So yeah, shout out. We will be back for the Friday night live stream. Don't miss it here on the YouTube. Follow the podcast feeds. DM us at REMINGTOM Pod on Instagram if you want to send us a message as well. And we will see you all in a couple of days. Friday night, March Madness, and a bunch of other stuff as well too. Don't miss it. We'll see y'all later. Peace.